Before we begin this episode, I want to thank the Spoiler Force patrons for their patronage. Thank you to Mong Her, Orion Vang, Lor Su Yang, and Yilang Li. Thank you guys for the support.
This is Mark Witten.
This is Adam MacArthur.
This is Ann Yatko.
Hey everybody, this is Michael Yurchak.
This is Erica Harlicker.
This is Daquan Wilshire.
This is Rico Fajardo, and you're watching.
And you're listening to Spoiler Force Podcast. Set your heart ablaze.
All right, so this is episode 132 of Spoiler Force Podcast. My name is Ricky, and thank you for tuning in. So this week's guest is someone that I reached out to, not last minute, but then he's been on my radar. I just didn't know when to reach out to this guest. But he does comic book reviews. He's a big anime nerd as well, and he loves Kamen Rider. He's also a fellow Hmong brother, so I can't wait to talk to him. So let me just introduce Ka Yang, also known as Ken's Geekside. Thank you so much for doing this, man.
So, yeah, I'm excited. No, this is like I said, it's my first podcast, so a little nervous, a little bit of everything. Glad to be on here. Yeah, ready to roll.
Yeah, I do want to let the followers know this is actually my first time meeting you. At all, because we're friends on Facebook. We have mutual friends and stuff.
Right.
Andrew, right?
Yeah, Andrew. I'm really good friends with his little brother and them too.
Okay, yeah, because I think that's how I met you through Facebook, was through Andrew, like through comic books, and all that. New Hang.
Yeah, New. He's a good buddy of mine. He's like an older brother.
Okay, yeah, I've hung out with him a few times too, and New was like the few people that was like, oh man, you should just like flip this or get these covers. Like he was trying to get me into what they were doing, like getting all the good covers and like flipping them and stuff. Like, oh no, man, I can't do that. I cannot. At least for me, I'm more of a collector, so I can't just buy something expensive and then try to flip it. Like if I go through all the effort of going through like getting a comic book signed, I want to keep it.
Right. Same here. When I first started collecting, like when I was really new into the collecting game, I was really into like the markets. Like, oh, you gotta get like the bronze keys, silver keys, and stuff like that, and then you gotta save it, and then like build up the value, and then like you said, flip it, and yeah, I just got to the point where like it's so hard keeping up with the comic book market nowadays because especially with the TV shows and the movies and stuff like that, it's always rising in value. So like a comic book could be like $300, and then like the next day could be like $5. So then like I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna buy the ones I really like, and just keep those, because I just kind of gave up on the market on trying to like flip the books to make money,
Yeah, that's how it was like with Funko Pops too. I got into like a really big Funko Pop craze, trying to buy like multiple of them and be like those freaking scalpers and shit like that. Yeah. I stopped doing it. It was just the effort of going through all that, and I was just like, man, it's not really worth it no more, man.
Yeah.
And then now when I look back at all the crap I have at home, I have like boxes of like Funkos, figures, books, like. What am I going to do with all this? Like, I still want to keep it and read it, but it's just now it's just taking up space. So it's all at my mom's house. I didn't bring any with me here to Texas because that's way too much stuff, and I don't want to pay for storage.
Yeah, dude. Like that's the same thing. The same thing with me too. Like this is still like rookie numbers, but I have like 3 short boxes of just comic books, right? And I was looking through them, and I was like, hey, why did I buy these in the first place? It was probably because they're like I said, the earlier days I was just trying to flip them or like get the value out of it. And even my wife was like, dude, like, where are you gonna put all this stuff? Like, once you have 3 now, once you get like 10, where are you gonna put it? I was like, oh man.
So I guess what got you into like the whole comic book lore or the whole geek world? Like what got you into that?
Yeah. So I would say my first experience with anything like I was considered geeky was Kamen Rider. Like a lot of us Hmong kids, we grew up with like Kamen Rider Black RX. If you name it, every Hmong kid knows Kamen Rider Black RX, right? And so like it started with my fascination of the henshin heroes or the tokusatsu genre. And then for a while I just kind of stopped because like growing up, everyone's encouraging you, man, like those are childish things, leave it behind. And I was secretly getting it on the down low. And I think one thing that fascinates me about comic books too, and so like Kamen Rider transitions to comic books because I like drawing, and it's always the front covers, the cover pages that blow me away. So a lot of the comic books I have up on here, it's either they're like key issues to me, and they also like the covers, like the art is like superb. So like I just buy it, and even though it's not a key issue, whatever, it means a lot to me. So I started collecting because of the artwork, and then I actually started reading. I was like, oh man, like this is pretty good, and it was a lot more deeper. Like the stories that they write, it's so much more. It's comic books are geared towards kids. That's what a lot of people think, but when they read the comic books, it actually has like really good meanings in there, like a lot of life lessons you can learn. So that's what really got me into collecting comic books, was just the art and then the story, where I could relate to the character, the struggles it's going through. Like even though they have superpowers, it's like very human. So that's what really got me into collecting comic books and this whole rabbit hole of a collecting thing.
Yeah. Honestly, for me, Kamen Rider, I that's something I grew up with too. Black RX.
Yeah.
Skyrider was one of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
Super One, the guy with the Iron Man.
Yeah. Yeah.
All those old ones I grew up with. I don't
Yeah.
really like the new ones now. They're kind of too flashy for me.
Mhm.
But I started off with that as a kid too, and then
Mhm.
with like Looney Tunes and stuff like that. And so
Right.
like Batman the animated series was the one
Mhm.
that got me hooked with DC Comics. Like
Right.
anything with Batman, Superman, Flash, Justice League, like it all stemmed from Batman.
Mhm.
I've told this on the podcast before too. Like I was a very closeted nerd geek, not so much
Right.
an otaku, because I at the time I only really liked mainstream anime.
Mhm.
But I was very quiet about it, and I've seen kids get bullied for liking all this nerdy stuff. So
Yeah.
like it's something I never really expressed with anyone until I got older. Like Andrew was one of the very few people that was like, "Oh man, you like Batman, Ricky? You got to
Yeah.
read Deathstroke. You got to read Court of Owls. You got to read this." I'm like, I'm just like, I'll give it some time, and then
Yeah.
eventually I got hooked. Like from 2015, 2016, I was like, you know what? I'm tired of like not pretending that I don't like this shit.
Right. Right.
I'm just gonna like this stuff and be very like honest about it, and that's what I'm doing now with the
Yeah.
podcast and all that.
Yeah. Yeah. Same for me. Like I've always kept everything on the down low. I mean, like my siblings knew I collected comic books and buying stuff like that. But like when it came to like my group of friends, like, and I had a lot of them are into comic books until I met New, and New was like, "Bro, do you read comic books?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, I got some like you should check out." And then like me and New like hit it off right away. Like I was like, "Oh yeah, like this guy like I could talk to about it," and he really reignited my like, okay, I shouldn't be afraid, or I shouldn't be like, yeah, I shouldn't be afraid of who I am and what I like and stuff like that. It's a part of me. It's what makes me me. So then that's when I just went all out. I was like, all right, whatever. People like it too.
Yeah, did he show you his graded comic books like that? I've seen some of those, and I was like, damn, man, like that's
Yeah.
one reason why I started I try to get my stuff graded.
Mm.
I got my issue 1 of Seven to Eternity graded.
Mm.
At the time, there was some value because it was a hot book, and then it's
Yeah.
probably dropped down quite a bit. It's not really worth much now. I kind of regret getting that one graded because I could have
Yeah.
just paid a little bit more to get something better graded.
Right. Yeah, same here. Like when I really went like head on like collecting, I was like grading so many comic books, and like I was spending way more grading than I was buying. And then I had to think about it. I was like, am I really gonna keep these books like for a long time? And then so I stopped because I was like, you know, if it's something where I am content with keeping forever, I'll grade it, because I don't want it. Obviously, comic books, they'll like, get with, well, like they'll kind of break apart.
Yeah.
You know? And so I was like, the next time I grade a comic book, I really have to like have a conviction where it'll stick with me through life. So I haven't graded any since 2020.
Oh,
So,
nice.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't graded anything since 2016, 2017 Motor City Comic Con. I
yeah.
really want to get I got the Tyler Kirkham Deadpool Venom.
Oh yeah,
variant.
yeah.
I want to get that graded. The book itself is still in good condition. Like I kept that
Right.
shit pristine. I
Yeah.
just never took it out to get it graded. So like I kind of like, man, I want to get that, like certain covers like that. I want to get that graded, or like get one of my Saga books covered or graded. You know, and I was like looking at some of these graded books already. Like some you can buy at conventions and stuff. But I was like, man, I could really try to. I wanted to try to go for a Saga #1. I was like, yeah, that's not in my pocket. I can't do that.
Yeah. What is it? You know, what's one comic book I want to grade? It's not even out yet. You remember they're finally adapting the Kamen Riders into comic books.
Yeah. I think I tagged you in one of those
Yeah,
posts.
you tagged me in it
with double.
Yeah, with Kamen Rider 01.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna get that collected because that'll be technically the first Kamen Rider comic book. That's if you don't count the Marvel Mask Rider one shot.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
Is
you know that one?
I've seen it. Is it under Marvel though, or
Yeah.
is it going to be its own thing?
So where is it at?
Yeah, for the folks who are listening through audio only, Kaz room is like filled with collectibles and toys, and that's the book.
Yeah. So this one is that's when they Black Rex's Mask Rider, when Saban tried to make Kamen Rider the spin-off series for Power Rangers.
Oh, so terrible. Don't remind me of that, please. It's so bad. Like they made him so obsessed with bugs. I'm just like, that's not the point.
Yeah, I get that. It was like, I get the whole idea of it, but it was so poorly executed. I was like, man, so disappointing. Because I remember the first time I've seen it, I was a kid, obviously. I wasn't keeping up to date with it, but I was flipping through the channels, and he came up, and I was like, no way, dude. And then I saw the whole thing, and I was like, this is cool, but it's cringe at the same time.
Did you ever get the Kamen Rider or the Masked Rider toys? Not the Kamen Rider ones, the Masked Rider ones.
I had some when I was still living in Detroit. I think this was like 90, 98, 97. I did have the Masked Rider one, and then the Super Gold or Robo Rider.
Yes.
But then, you know, as a kid, you don't really look at the value of it. You want to play with she, and you just play with it, and it disappears somewhere.
Yeah, I was lucky to have all three, and I had the motorcycle.
Oh, dang.
I never had the car. I always wanted the car. I never got it. My mom said she could never find it. That shit was gone. But I regret it because Robo Rider and Bio Rider and the motorcycle that I had lasted the longest. I kept that for so long, and eventually in my teenage years I lost it. But man, they were like just so not flimsy, but you could just tell like it was very Americanized versus what the Kamen Rider toys are today.
Yeah,
which is insane with how they look. Because even some of my friends right now, they're like our age. They're like, I'm gonna get the Shadow Moon figure from Japan or something like that.
Yeah, like, I have the Shadow Moon figure here. It's crazy. So I recently got into collecting action figures now. Well, if you haven't noticed, but like I always compare, like, for example, McFarlane toys, right? They're like, for their action figures, the articulations and everything like that is pretty good for American standard. But if you compare McFarlane toy to SH Figure Arts, I would say beats McFarlane toys by like 100 million points, because the point of articulations in SH Figure Arts, I would say there's more there, and it's more realistic than McFarlane toys. But McFarlane toys, if you compare it to other American action figures, it's like top tier. But it just falls behind SH Figure Arts, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, like with Japanese figures or action figures, like when I buy them, I don't even want to like touch them.
Yeah.
Like even as a kid, I did not want to play with them. Like my cousin gave me this. It was when the Broly movie dropped in America. Like they had the Trunks, Goku, and Broly, and I got Trunks. I didn't even want to open that. Like it was just the quality was just so much different than what the West standard was. Like a lot of the toys that they sold in America, like for the Dragon Ball Z ones, I opened them, I played with them. I played with it so much that the colors started coming off.
Yeah.
You know, so like it's way different than what Japan has, and like now as
Right.
an adult, I'm buying like Nendroids and shit, and like
Mhm.
I don't even. So at sometimes I don't even want to take it out the box.
Yeah.
Like I get to that point where like, man, that's why like with collecting, man, like I
Mhm.
had to like really chill because like a lot of
Mhm.
the stuff that I liked, I was not opening it. Like I have
Yeah.
back at home in Detroit, like I have some of the, I don't know if you're familiar with Konosuba. Like I'm not trying to open my pop, they're just pop-up trades, like
Okay.
prize figures. They're like 30
Right.
40 bucks, but
Uh-huh.
I still don't want to open the box. Like I want to keep
Yeah.
it in there.
Yeah. Surprisingly, um, when it comes to statues or like statues, right? Ben Presto, their statues are really good in detail too. It's nothing like Sideshow collectibles and stuff like that. But if you like, I've always told my buddies, if you want like a good quality but like budget friendly
Yeah,
statue, Ben Presto's like the way to go.
yeah. And
Yeah.
they
And
they pump out those quick.
yeah,
Like you don't have,
yeah,
you're not gonna wait. Like they'll have second, third waves within the next couple months.
mm, yeah. They get things fast. And it goes with the Japanese work schedule too. I don't know how it is for the action figures. Like how we hear that in Japan they work like crazy hours, right? Might be something about that too, but who knows?
Could be. Well, my,
Yeah.
my roommate, he collects a lot of like high quality figures
Mm,
or statues. He's
mm,
always talking about it to me. I kind of wish he was on to explain this, but I can't
yeah.
explain it like how he can. But
Mm,
he knows like when he knows the drop dates. He knows like certain sites to go to
oh
that'll
dang.
be like third
Yeah.
party and stuff like that. And you can still get like affordable figures. Like if you're willing to buy like some with a little bit of it, some sort of
Right.
like disfigurement, like not crazy, but like for example, like one figure will have like a chip mark because of the paint.
Mm,
Like they'll drop the value because
yeah.
it's a small little chip like that. Like he'll
Yeah.
tell me like, yeah, I bought it like this, but this is something that I don't even really care about. I just
Mhm.
want it. So like
Yeah.
he has a whole he's buying details and shit. Like he's setting that up actually where I'm
Yeah.
staying at right now. But I'm not that deep into it, but talking to him about like his figurines and stuff, I'm like, damn,
Yeah.
I'm like really rookie. Like I thought I was doing pretty good just buying Funko Pops and pop-up parade shit.
Yeah. I know.
And
Me
it's like
too.
I'm like, oh man, there's people out there getting some high quality stuff. And
Yeah.
then
That's the
recently, oh
that's
go
the
go
thing
ahead.
about yeah. That's the thing about collecting though. It's always the hunt.
Yeah,
Like it's easy, if you could go online and buy it and order, it will be here in like 2 days, right? Amazon. But like in his situation, and probably both you and I, like sometimes there are figures that aren't available, and then like you go on this hunt, and then it could take like weeks, months, years, and then once you obtain it, it's like it's worth everything.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
it goes for just like for comic books too, covers, or like
Mm,
for me, I'm a big sucker for like prints from like Artist Alley and shit.
mm,
And there's certain artists that I follow that only do limited prints, so like they'll put like 17 out of like 100 or something like that.
yeah.
Like when I get that, when I know that I'm
Mm,
getting a limited edition or a limited amount print or figure,
yeah.
dude, I'm like, I'm so happy.
Yeah.
Like I'm so happy I got that. It was like I don't even care how much I paid for it. I got it. Like that's the
Yeah.
thrill.
See, here's the thing about comic books. Well, like when it comes to hunting comic books, um, if they're like older prints and you find it, and I find it, I'm like in love with it. But nowadays, if you look at how the industry is, they're putting like out so much racial variance where like it's not even fun to go and find it anymore. It's like
Yeah,
they'll
it's
give
a
you
hassle now.
yeah, it's like oh man, there's so much covers nowadays. Like they did like for example an issue of Batman and they did like one cover, like the main cover and then like another cover, right? And that's a limited cover. That'd be cool. But with every issue nowadays, there's like 5 covers. And I'm just
Dude,
like,
dude,
it's
don't even
not
get me
fun
started on
anymore.
like Batman Europa when that came out.
Mm,
There was the regular cover, B cover,
mm,
and then the 2 variant covers, and then there was like the with 3 Jokers too, the black and
mm.
white covers.
Yeah,
I'm like, yo, man, like you
yeah.
guys are just getting our
They're
money.
okay. The 3 Jokers, they did a good job marketing it and they got their money. But the story sucked.
Oh man, no, you don't, dude. Okay, well, let's talk 3 Jokers, because this I don't
Yeah,
think I really talked this on the podcast.
yeah.
Yeah, the ending was whack. It was such a cop out ending.
Yeah, I felt like they got scared towards the end. Like they couldn't find something original, so they had to go back to like what was the Batman uh the last, no, it's not the last joke.
Oh, the Killing Joke or something like that.
Yeah, the Killing Joke. Yeah,
Yeah.
they had to pull from that, and I was like, man, what was the point of doing this? And like,
The only minor twist that they had was like Joker possibly, or that's his kid.
yeah,
They lead off
yeah,
with that, and then they just drop it. It's like, dude, the
yeah.
fuck.
And then it's so stupid because they all go that issue, that series. It was mainly about, to me, it's mainly about Jason Todd finding like some sort of like middle ground, and it wasn't really Batman because it's spoiler alert. This is spoiler for podcast. So
I mean, if anyone who has not
yeah,
read Three Jokers yet, you're like really late, so it doesn't
yeah,
even matter at this point.
yeah. At the end, like I was so pissed. Like when Bruce Wayne was like, I knew who he was the first day I met him. I was like, really?
It was like they had all this hype right from 52. They
Yeah,
were like, oh shit, there's three of them. Like there's
yeah,
multiple. Like I thought they were gonna go into like I was getting I got that one was it the shit, I am blanking now. It was the one where Bruce Wayne has like a time machine and shit, and like they kind of like touch up on the beginnings of Joker, like the man who smiles or
yeah,
some shit like that. I thought it was gonna be something like that, where like the Joker isn't a person, it's an idea type thing. Like
yeah,
these people are Jokers because it's a cult. They're
yeah,
following whoever started this. But no, they copped out and just like nope.
yeah.
It's
It
still one.
literally, yeah, like you said, they hyped it up in New 52, and then we waited how many years for them to finally reveal the three Jokers, and even in the comic book, the two other Jokers died. So there's just one more left, and so now there's truly just one Joker.
Who was it? The comedian, right? He's the last one, right?
Yeah,
Was it the comedian? Yeah.
yeah,
So like they kind of went back to the Killing Joke and kind of like
yeah,
solidified. Okay, the Killing Joke Joker is the real Joker, the one that
right,
hurt Barbara. But see, like that's the thing too, because like they were given the sidekicks some sort of way to kind of cope with what
yeah,
they've gone through with the Jokers. I honestly, I'm pretty sure you've seen me post about it before, but Jason Todd is my least favorite Robin. I fucking hate him. He's the worst Robin. I don't care what anyone says. Jason
yeah,
Todd is the worst one. He has the Under the Red Hood was a great movie and it's a
yeah,
great comic book. A lot of folks don't realize that it was because of Superboy, right? Was it Superboy that punched through time and he came back?
yeah,
It wasn't even like how it was in the movie. People just based off Jason Todd off his movie. And
yeah,
because he's voiced by Jensen Ackles, who's
yeah,
also Soldier Boy from The Boys.
yeah,
So like people were get in their feels about it. I'm like, I tell everyone, like, dude, he's the worst because he's the crybaby of all
yeah.
the Robins.
He's the
Batman didn't
one.
love me.
Yeah, he's the one that didn't want to go to therapy.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah,
But I
but I
get a
was
lot
like,
of shit too though, because like I
yeah,
like Nightwing and
okay.
yeah, people get me shit for that. But yeah, continue.
No, I would say my least, people are gonna get triggered, is Tim Drake.
Really? Oh wow,
Yeah,
really? Okay,
I mean,
I wasn't expecting that.
so okay, so I get it. Tim Drake, he's a cool Robin, and he's way, like, I think he's smarter than Batman, but I don't like him because I feel like the writers didn't do enough with him. Because there was at a certain point where he was Red Robin, right? And he just dropped back to Robin. Because,
Oh
like,
yeah.
yeah, and he dropped back to Robin, and then, like, I'm sure I probably missed a couple series, but then, like, Damian came along, and then they focused on Damian, and then, like, Tim Drake kind of was set to the side. So, well, I should say it's not that I don't like him, it's just there's not enough interest in Tim Drake for me yet. Because I feel like they don't utilize him enough.
He had a good beginning. Like when
Yeah,
they first brought him in, like I really liked that. Like how he
yeah,
was the Robin that kind of just he was naturally a Robin already.
right, right,
He wasn't someone that Batman had to really bring up from the ground up. Like
right,
he was already skilled, and
right,
then
and he
Batman just
wanted,
utilized him. But
right,
then no, I get it. I get it too. I understand that too because like with Damien, once Damien came in the picture, dude, everyone loved Damien. Or
yeah.
I don't know. Do you think everyone loves Damien? I feel like it's always like 50-50.
I don't think so.
I like him.
I think Damien's cool, but he's annoying.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
bratty.
yeah. he still has a lot of maturing to do. I mean, like he's starting to do a lot of things solo now, which I could appreciate because I think the ultimate move for Robin is to distance themselves from Batman. And I think that's what they're doing with Damian now. And that goes back to Tim Drake. Like now he's back to being like the Robin, like with the full like green and red suit. Like he's not Red Robin. And I liked him as Red Robin because he was pretty cool and he did his own things. But now he's back in like the actual Robin costume and Damian's out. And I'm just like, what are they going to do with Tim, man?
But at this point, Tim should be like an adult. At this
Right,
point.
right. That's what I'm saying.
So why are
Yeah.
you still being Robin?
Yeah, I know. I'm like, you should be at least like Nightwing Jr. or something.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing with like a lot of the Batman sidekicks. I know they were pushing was it Lucas? Was it Lucas is it Luke Thomas? The one he
Luke
had like
Thomas?
the yellow and
The
black.
Signal, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the Signal. Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought that would have been good. He would have
Yeah.
been a whole different, like he's a whole new sidekick.
Yeah.
He's technically what I want to say mutant, but that's not what you call him in DC.
What is it? The meta
He's a meta. He's a
Yeah.
metahuman. Yeah, so I think that would have been sweet to have Batman train a metahuman Robin versus like
Yeah.
a regular person. Like that would have been cool. I don't know why
Yeah.
they didn't pick up on that, but I felt like they dropped the ball with
Yeah.
Luke Thomas.
They put in, I think the last thing, well, right now Duke is in with the Outsiders. And yeah, I like his suit. I like him. I like the way the writers approach Duke because like they're like instead of him operating at night, he'll be during the day and he's all yellow.
Yeah.
And so I like that. And I really do hope they do more with him because he's an interesting character.
Yeah, I like what they did though, because like he branched out from the We Are Robin series, so I thought that was really cool just to have like some new like I like when stories bring in new characters like that where they just throw them in there. It's not like how the MCU is when they did the Captain Marvel movie, like they had to do a whole intro for it. Like no, just throw them in the damn middle of the movie and then work on them.
Yeah,
like that's why I liked, but
yeah. And here, and this goes so this goes back to collecting comic books, right? So nowadays there's so many new characters that are like every week there's like a key issue with a new character and they don't ever stick. I feel like that's gonna be impossible with like I think our generation moving forward, but Duke's stuck and I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah. Well, he stuck in a big part of like of 52 though. Like it was a big event, which was good. I think that's a great way to bring in new characters. It has to be like a crisis type event to where they'll stand out. Don't throw them in like a 4-issue crossover. Like no one's gonna remember that.
Right. So talking about crisis, are you keeping up with DC right now?
Sadly, not. Once I moved here to Texas, I stopped reading comic books. I've been reading manga lately, but I do know that there's another crisis event happening. Apparently they wiped out Justice League, right? Is that the most recent one?
This is supposed to be a sequel to Crisis on Infinite Earths. So this is called Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths. And so Justice League dies. So I think so Jonathan Kent's Superman, Damian, Black Adam, they're the new Justice League. But this Crisis, to me, I felt like it was too soon to do another Crisis because we literally just got done with Death Metal.
Oh yeah, and that's a big event too.
Yeah, and I thought Death Metal was good. I was like, okay, that really solidified a lot of things. And then like 2 years later, they're like, oh, let's do another like Crisis event. I'm like, it's too soon, man.
So with DC, I think they're pumping out Crisis events because their movies aren't keeping up.
Yeah.
So their comic books have to carry the stories.
Yeah.
Because we all know what Ezra Miller's doing right now. That fucker is beating up people randomly and still saying he's the Flash. So
that dude is Reverse Flash dressed up as Flash.
No,
he's actually evil.
That's what I'm saying. They should just make Ezra Miller the Reverse Flash.
Yeah. Watch it turn. They should make a twist where they're like, Ezra Miller was the Reverse Flash the whole time. He just fucked with the Justice League.
Dude, that'd be pretty cool though. Like
yeah,
like Batfleck's like, I thought you were Barry the whole time. Like no, like it's Eoborthon. I was like, holy shit.
Ezra
think they're
Miller,
close.
man, that guy, he needs to chill.
No, he does. He does. He really does need to chill.
Yeah.
I think a lot of these actors who are superheroes, look, I love Gal Gadot, right? She's fucking beautiful. But
Mhm.
even when she was doing the whole Imagine thing, I think the
Yeah.
whole like Wonder Woman ideals got
Mhm.
to her head where she really
Yeah.
thought she was Wonder Woman. Like, no,
Yeah.
like chill. You're portraying a superhero.
Yeah.
You're not really Wonder Woman. Like,
Right.
you wear the suit, but
Yeah.
relax.
Yeah. That's the thing. That's the thing about acting that, like you said, it could get to their head because they play one role and then they play one superhero. Okay, good example. Uh, who's this guy? Who's the guy that played Cyborg?
Ray Fisher.
Ray Fisher. I think the role of Cyborg got to his head.
You think so?
I think so. Okay, so a lot of people are gonna bash me over this, but um, okay, so Ray Fisher, he makes up like when the first Justice League was released, right? He posted up like how there was like some abuse, um, how DC didn't know how to handle the characters and stuff like that. And I agree, yeah, definitely, 100%. Like, let it be known, and let's get some investigating going, right? But now that guy is just like posting like every second about the situation, and at the same time, I feel like he's raised enough awareness, but it's just to the point where like it's like, man, we know.
It gets to where awareness becomes annoying now. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, we get what you're trying to say. You don't need to. Yeah, I get that. I
Yeah.
think what it's a little bit iffy though, because the whole Zack Snyder thing, like
Yeah.
what WB was doing to
Mhm.
his vision was fucked up. Like when you
Yeah.
go back and look at the Snyder cut, I talked to Victor Koo about this. Mighty
Mhm.
Pegasus, like he's a big advocate for the Snyder cut,
Mhm.
and it is messed up that they cut out their pivotal moments.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah, I agree.
so as an actor, I would be pissed too.
Yeah.
But not to the extent of where like I'm telling everyone every second
Right.
WB's out to get me. The
Right.
CEOs hate me.
When they released the Snyder cut, when it was announced, I was like, damn, they really do have it. And so like what is it? When I watched the full 4, it was 4 hours, right?
Yeah.
I was like, damn, yeah, this would have been way better. This would have been way better. But and to be honest too, the first Justice League that that wasn't Schneider's, I actually liked it a little bit because Superman. I liked the first Justice League because Superman was actually. I felt like he was actually Superman. Because Superman, like we all know Superman is supposed to be hope, inspire, and lead, right? And we got that. I felt like we got that in the first Justice League, but in the Snyder cut, we got that, but I felt like he didn't. Even though it was 4 hours, I felt like he didn't have enough time for some reason. But I would say that in the Justice League, the first one, he really shined. Just Henry Cavill, even though he had that horrible CGI right here.
Oh my
Yeah,
god, he was
that was bad.
Bizarro the whole time.
Dude, that was bad. I was like, when I watched it, do you remember the first scene where the kids are recording him? I didn't read anything going up when I went to go watch that movie, so I didn't know what was happening. Right, the first scene comes on, and it's the little kids recording, and Henry Cavill turns around. I'm like,
Something's
something's wrong.
off, right?
Like something's
That's how I
off,
was
man.
too.
Yeah, and I was like, what? I was like, I can't put. I was like, there's something wrong with his lips. I thought he had like Botox or something like that. So I was like, he's too young to get Botox. And then after the movie, I heard that it was because he couldn't shave it off because like they did the reshoots while he was doing Mission Impossible with Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
I was like, dang, dude, that sucks. But I don't know. I liked him in there.
I can admit that I did like Whedon's version for the time being when
Yeah.
it came out. Like
Mhm.
just like how Ayer's Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
I'll admit I liked it, but then as time went on and I went back to rewatch it without being biased because I
Mhm.
love DC, I realized how shit those movies were.
Yeah.
Like the Ayer Snyder or the Ayer Suicide Squad. Like when I initially first watched it, I think I liked it too much to where like I looked past all the flaws.
Right.
Because Suicide Squad's one of my favorite crews
Mhm.
in DC Comics. Like I love it because I like
Mhm.
that they're just crazy. But
Mhm.
then going back and rewatching the movie, I'm just like, oh my god, this is terrible. How did I
Yeah.
like this?
Yeah, and I would say Will Smith as what was it, Deadshot? He was okay.
Terrible. No, terrible casting. Like
Yeah.
even when they announced him, I knew he only got that role because Jada was in Gotham. She was in the show Gotham.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah. So I knew that kind of played a part on Will
Mhm.
getting the Deadshot role. But like man, he wasn't Deadshot to me, man. He was
Yeah.
Will Smith.
Yeah, he was Will Smith. That's what I was saying. Okay, so yeah, the whole time I was watching Suicide Squad, I was like, that's the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
like
Like, they ain't Deadshot.
when Harley goes to Enchantress and like pretends to go on her side, he's like, Harley, what are you doing? Like that like Deadshot wouldn't do shit like that. Deadshot like
Yeah.
Harley, you take one more step, I'm shooting you. You know, like
Yeah.
like it would have been shit like that. Like he was too Will Smith. Like, I think the only character I really liked in Ayer's Suicide Squad was Katana, Karen Fukuhara.
I liked,
She's the only one I liked.
yeah, I liked Katana and I liked Harley Quinn. I was very close to liking who was that guy?
Boomerang.
Huh?
Is it Boomerang? Captain
No, not
Boomerang.
Boomerang. Crocodile guy. Is it the crocodile?
Yeah. What's his face? He's a Batman villain. How am I not
Yeah, I
remembering
was
his
gonna say the
actual name?
lizard, but that's Spider-Man.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about. I'm blanking
Yeah.
out too. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, how can I say I like Batman? I don't know the fucking villain's
Yeah,
name.
I know. I'm like over here struggling and like but then like I'm reading comic books. Stupid. But yeah, there was those three for me. I was really close to liking I'm just gonna call him the crocodile. I came to really close to like really liking Crocodile because the whole prosthetics and everything was like on point, right?
Yeah.
But I felt like he was underutilized.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
His only like big moment was throwing the bomb.
Yeah.
that was it.
Yeah.
I did like El Diablo. He was really good.
Yeah, El Diablo was cool.
Yeah, but then they killed him off. I was just like,
Yeah.
He's
You know who they killed off too soon? Who was that guy in the beginning? The guy that ties knots.
Oh, I know he's talking about. Yeah. They're
I was
like,
like, wow.
he can escape from anything. He fucking
Yeah.
climbs up the rope and gets his head popped.
I was like,
But
oh,
no,
yo.
did you see James Gunn's Suicide Squad?
I
With
did.
Idris Elba? Did you like that one more? Or
I like that one. I like that one more than the Suicide Squad or the first Suicide Squad movie. But I think it had a little bit too much humor in there for me.
too much Guardians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was feeling the whole time. But I'll be honest though, James Gunn's Peacemaker.
Yeah.
That series was good. Like,
okay, I have not watched it yet, but I know what happens at the end. So
dang, you gotta watch it because James Gunn, to me, he could be like super funny, and then like within 2 seconds, it could be like super serious, and then you're like focused. Dude, that Peacemaker show was like heartbreaking. Like, even though it had
do
its
you
funny.
like that they're making villains more anti-hero though? Like, because John Cena's character was too anti-hero for me. Like, he was a dick in the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
I was pissed when he killed Rick Flag.
Yeah.
But then they make you like him more in Peacemaker. So I'm just
Yeah.
like,
I feel like that's the thing about films to me. Like, when it comes to like films, right? And let's say, like, Peacemaker and Venom, right? Venom originally was a villain. Peacemaker was originally a villain. And I feel like in film, they have to find a place to connect with the audiences. And that's why they kind of nerf them down a little bit, give them more human-like characteristics. So, like, yeah, they could connect with the audiences. And I think that's why, like, the villains get nerfed. And if they get their own solo series.
I can agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing with again with Deadshot, Will Smith being Deadshot. They nerfed him down big time just so that you can have sympathy towards his character. And even with Harley, right? Everyone loves. I love Margot Robbie's take on Harley, but even with Harley, they still make her very likable. And I don't know. I think with movies, these directors are afraid to like pull the trigger. Like I want a sinister villain. Like I want like Heath Ledger type shit. Like I want that kind of villain. Like or Joaquin Phoenix, right? Like, you still feel bad for him, but at the end, he's a villain. At the end, like he is the guy that was like he killed Robert De Niro on the spot.
Yeah.
You know, so
See,
like
I'm
that's
looking.
what I hope.
Yeah, I'm looking for the sequel. I'm looking forward to the sequel because like now that his origins have been told in the first film, I want to see how much chaos he's gonna like cause in Arkham. And they have Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn too, so I'm like, dude, this better be good.
That's what I want to see. Is how are they going to transform Gaga into Harley? Because Margot already set the bar, you know, with her look, her voice, the aesthetics. So, excuse me, I want to see how Gaga does it, but at the same time, I don't like that they're aiming for a musical.
I'm kind of excited for a musical.
I'm not because because it's gonna end up being a villainous A Star Is Born. That's what, because Heath Ledger sings too, or not Heath Ledger, Joaquin Phoenix sings too.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a villainous story of A Star Is Born, and I'm not ready for that because it's a Joker. I want to see this toxic relationship. I want to see Joker smack the shit out of her. Like I want to see that type shit. You know, like and people who, if you're offended hearing me say this, like I'm not approving toxic relationships or domestic abuse, but if you don't know Joker and Harley, he's done so much crazy shit to her. That's why I was getting triggered with Suicide Squad when people were like, oh yeah, when everyone was Harley and Joker for Halloween. Like, you guys don't really know what you're representing here, and you're fighting against domestic abuse, but then you're representing the two worst characters to be in relationships. Then like no, you got to know your characters, man. But I'm hoping with Todd Phillips' sequel, I want to see at least like he ain't got to do it all the time. But just please let me see Joker smack the shit out of her. Like I want to see that.
So for the reason why when it was announced I was going to be a musical, right? Because I hate musicals. I hate musicals, but when it comes to Joker and Harley and the setting where it is, like if you think about Arkham Asylum, right? It's a place for like the most insane, the most mental people there. And you know, sometimes weird things go on there with the head, right? And so I would feel like a musical is a good way, like it's a good way to go to, because Joker is insane, and then Harley, I forgot what the title of the new Joker film is gonna be, but I looked that up. It's a medical symptom where, it's a medical diagnosis where someone's belief is like bleeds into another person. Like for example, religion, right? If my wife is Catholic, pretend like I go to church with her, and then her belief slowly starts to bleed into me, and then I believe like everything, right? So I'm excited to see how it plays out. And when it comes to the musicals, I think it just fits perfectly with the setting and stuff like that, just how crazy it is in there, how people think and stuff like that. I feel like they're going to explore how Harley and Joker are going to think in that sequel. So kind of my take on it.
No, that's a good take, dude. Because you can play a lot with the psychoticness of or like the mental issues of Joker and Harley. Like what they see, what we see on screen is what they think is happening.
Right.
And then they zoom back out, it's like they killed like 10 fucking people or some shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. When you put it like that, it makes me kind of excited. Like, holy shit! Like what? Like they could be like dancing and shit and like swinging something. Next thing, the next cutscene, they just ended up killing people instead.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like that's what I want to see, like a musical of them, and like exactly like you said, like once the musical stops, right? widescreen, and you just see them like holding someone's head or like
Yeah.
stabbing someone.
No, man, that's a great take on that. Yeah, I didn't think of it like that.
Yeah, so yeah, like I said, I'm not a big fan of musicals, but when it comes to Joker and Harley, I'm like, that makes sense for some
Yeah.
reason. Yeah.
Well, I would much rather have it be them two than like Batman and Selena Kyle.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you take Batman and Catwoman, they do a musical. I'm just like, it's like, dude,
Robert Pattinson's Batman's fucking singing.
yeah, I
and
know,
shit.
right? Oh my goodness. Imagine them like just jumping, building to building. They're singing while they're jumping, and they're like twirling in the air, and just like,
It'll be a Disney movie.
yeah, exactly. It'd be a Marvel Batman.
If you want to start your own podcast like Spoiler Force, then sign up with Buzzsprout. Buzzsprout has helped hundreds of thousands of users like me to begin their podcasting journey. With easy-to-use tools, you can effectively get your podcast onto different platforms like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, iHeartRadio, and more. You can view your stats, create audio clips, and even have your own podcasting website. Buzzsprout offers ideas, tips, tricks, and tutorials to help you improve your podcast. Follow the link below, and once you sign up, you'll get a $20 Amazon gift card. This will let Buzzsprout know that I sent you and will also support Spoiler Force Podcast. If you want a simpler way to record both video and audio for your podcast, then sign up with StreamYard. StreamYard is the perfect program to create podcasts, host live streams, and even do video calls. There are many tools that can help you create and design your own personal studio. You can screen share, read live comments, and stream to different destinations like Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. You can also download your video and audio once you're done with your recording session. Follow the link below, and once you sign up with the basic or pro plan, you'll earn a $10 credit to use for StreamYard. Happy podcasting. Speaking of Marvel, though, man, like I know you've been like you've been pretty hyped about She-Hulk and or Daredevil,
Yeah,
being in She-Hulk. I think the series dropped today. Did you watch it though?
I thought it dropped tomorrow. Did it?
Is it tomorrow? Oh shit! I
The
saw
18th.
reviews.
I think it drops at
thought
18.
okay. I
Yeah.
read reviews. I thought it dropped today.
I think some people got exclusive access to it. Like, you know how like sometimes people get like early screenings and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah.
What are you excited for it? Like, what's your take on it? 'Cause I'm not a big She-Hulk person, so I could care less.
Yeah, I'm not a big She-Hulk person too, but I know enough about her to like, watch and know what's going on. But yeah, I'm mainly excited for Daredevil. Dude, when he jumped on screen, I was like laughing. I was laughing hysterically, and like I was just like super happy because like he has his original yellow and red suit. And so I was like, no freaking way, like Marvel freaking did it. And so there was that. So I'm excited because this isn't, from what they're saying, this isn't the same Daredevil from the Netflix series, but it's like another multiverse. But yeah, I'm excited for that because obviously She-Hulk is a lawyer, and Matt Murdock is a lawyer, and I kind of figured they were gonna meet, but I didn't know if they were gonna he was gonna suit up. Like, you know how in Spider-Man No Way Home where you see like Daredevil, and I'm just like, holy shit, I thought something like that was gonna happen. But when he jumped
that
on,
was such a clean cameo though.
Yeah.
In No Way Home, like that was such a good way to bring in Matt Murdock. He didn't
Yeah.
need the suit. He didn't need fight scenes. All he needed was just his small screen time, and then bam, cut the rock.
Yep, that one
was-
scene like stole like that. He stole that moment there for me. I was like,
Yeah.
who's Spider-Man?
It's like I'm a really good lawyer.
Yeah, like I'm just super excited because a lot of people say the MCU is dead after Endgame, which it isn't. I think the thing about with comic book characters, there's still so much characters to explore, especially in the MCU. There's so many A-listers that hasn't even appeared on screen yet, and to the casual viewers of the MCU, they might think that like the MCU is dead, but to us comic book fans, we know that there's still so much more characters out there and like so much more interesting events that still is going to happen. So
it really depends on who they bring on screen.
Yeah.
I think that's the issue with MCU right now. Like I'm not like with Phase 4. Like honestly, No Way Home and Shang-Chi were probably the two that I enjoyed the most. Like like no Love and Thunder. I liked it, but
Yeah.
was it the greatest? No.
No.
I honestly just liked it for Natalie Portman because
Yeah.
I grew to really like Jane Foster's Thor.
Mhm.
When once they gave her like a real good story, and you know
Mhm.
at the end of first series she dies anyways, so like that made me like really appreciate Jane Foster. So I
Yeah.
was very excited to see her on screen.
Yeah. Yeah. I really liked Love and Thunder because I like it when writers put uh actors and characters in uncomfortable places where they have to go outside of the elements, and I felt like that's what Love and Thunder did. Um, it wasn't. I didn't feel like an MCU movie at all. It felt like its own standalone movie to me,
Yeah,
and I appreciated that because I feel like Thor, Chris Hemsworth as Thor, I felt like he's done it. You know, from the first Thor movie all the way to Love and Thunder, I felt like he's done the whole shebang. But they teased, and I felt like that was a good ending to Thor with having his Gore's daughter. I felt like that was a good ending to Thor because he started off alone and he ended up with someone, and that happens to be Gore's daughter. And but then they teased another Thor movie at the end, and even Taika Waititi was like, "Wait, what? Like, what? We're planning another one?"
yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know where they're gonna take Thor next.
Well, I mean,
But
at the end credits, it was Hercules that was
oh
gonna go
yeah,
after.
yeah, Hercules. I totally forgot about it. I
Yeah.
don't know how I feel about Hercules.
See, I did you like Russell Crowe's Zeus? I didn't like. It
I
was too
didn't like it,
comedic
but
for
I
me.
appreciated it.
I thought it was funny though when he was like walking
Yeah,
down the steps and he had his hands on his
yeah,
chest
he
and
had to do a
shit. That
tutu.
was that was fucking funny. But then
Yeah,
I I don't know, man. Like I that's why personally I enjoyed it, but overall as a movie, when you compare it to the other MCU
yeah,
Phase 4 movies, it wasn't
yeah,
that great.
yeah. It's not the best. I felt like they could have. I felt like they should have focused more on Gore
Hmm.
because his background is so interesting. Like if you look at the movie and even the comic books, right? Very devoted religious person until like his own god was like just everything went downhill, and then he became the God Butcher. I felt like that movie was too short to include Gore in there. I felt like Gore could have done so much more.
I don't think they could have afforded Christian Bale
Yeah,
that long.
that's true.
When it
That's
comes
true.
down to it, I think it just came to that Disney's like, we're not gonna pay Bale, who
Yeah,
played
yeah,
Batman, even more money just to be the villain.
right.
I think they kind of like used what they could with him. But yeah, I agree with that too. I think I really wish Gore had more scenes.
Mm.
He wasn't like he wasn't a humorous villain. It's just I wanted him to I wanted to see him kill. Like I wanted to see him
Right,
like
right.
whoop ass.
Yeah, he didn't. The only god he killed that we've seen him killed was his the first one that
Yeah.
he killed, right? And then the rest, it was just like mass chaos. He appears and he disappears. I was like, heck.
Yeah, it was overall it was okay.
Yeah,
Me personally though, I still think the first Thor was probably my favorite one out of the
yeah,
four. The first one I liked that take on Thor where
mm,
he was more serious, more godlike versus now he's very Chris Hemsworth.
yeah. He's very Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, so it's you know it's what it is, but and you can't really like say much because if it wasn't for Chris Hemsworth like changing up the character, we wouldn't have gotten like a new aspect in what Thor
Right,
is.
right. Yeah, and then that's a problem with making comic book films too, is how to keep adding more how to make that character like change or what, like for example Thor, Chris Hemsworth, right? He can only be funny for so long until like they're like, okay, what else, what other different thing we can do to be more interesting, to draw the crowd in more.
Did you like that they kind of did that with Star-Lord too when they first brought in Star-Lord?
Mm,
Because I believe the original Star-Lord's a very like serious leader
yeah,
type character. And then
yeah,
once Chris Pratt came in, he became very goofy,
yeah,
very like go with the flow type character.
yeah. If you
And not
read,
and now
yeah,
even in the games and comic books, he's more like Chris Pratt now.
yeah, because yeah, I agree. In the comic books, if you read any Guardians comic book before the movie came out, he was a leader. He was very serious, like you said. He didn't joke around until Chris Pratt came in, and Chris Pratt is known to be a comedian, right, in Parks and Rec. And so that's what they kind of stuck with, and then ever since that, they just stuck with the comic books too.
That's the one. That's my gripe with movies,
Mhm.
is because as much inspiration they draw from the books, how the movies affect the audience affects the books, and
Right.
I hate it.
Yeah.
Like keep that shit separate. Like,
Right.
because because I get it. I know Disney and Marvel, they want to hit the mainstream fans
Mhm.
so that they can go buy the books, so they can get comic book sales up.
Right.
But as comic book readers, we know that influx will come in
Yeah.
only to have the majority of these books either shelved, canceled, or in stores have all these useless books in their
Yeah.
in their shop.
Yeah. That's one thing. So when I first started watching, when the movies came out, MCU and stuff like that, that's when I was like realizing, I was like, man, like these movies, even though it's like that, it's different from the comic books, and that used to really get to me when I go watch a movie. I'm like, wait a second, that's not in the comic books. Like,
Yeah.
what the frick? And so, um, what is it? I came to terms with like, okay, I have to look at it like it's a multiverse
Mhm.
thing, which it is, confirmed, whatever. Um, like that's not the comic book, like Star Lord, basically. So you're basically reading or watching a different universe, right? So that's what I was thinking. I was like, okay, I can't go into like comic book movies thinking it's gonna be exactly like the comic books, because if you think like that, you're just gonna go in disappointed. And that's my way of thinking with recasting nowadays too. Like how like there's like race swaps or like gender swaps and stuff like that. I used to have a big gripe with that too, but like now I'm looking at it, I was like, you know what? That's another writer's version of the character, and that's just another version of the character. So as long as they nail the character down, I'm cool with it. So like right now, I'm happy at where I'm at with watching the movies and reading the comic books. Because I'm not thinking that it's exactly like the comic books. I'm thinking, you know what? It's a movie. It's a different writer. It's a different universe.
It's different interpretation and different
Right.
takes on
Right.
these characters.
Yeah.
But again, this is just what I think. I don't like how, if there are certain ideals that they're pushing onto certain characters,
Mhm.
like Captain Marvel, right?
Yeah.
I used to like Captain Marvel
Mhm.
up until where they did what they did with Carol Danvers in the MCU, where they
Yeah.
were really pushing um not so much feministic ideas. They were
Mhm.
pushing the, be a strong woman type thing, but
Yeah.
then there was no development for Carol Danvers.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you like, so for anyone who's watching or listening, hear this in context. Like, it's not like they let Carol Danvers grow as a character for us to really
Mhm.
appreciate that this is what her strength was. She
Mhm.
came down immediately like Super Saiyan 3 Goku
Yeah.
and started whooping ass out of nowhere. It's like it made no sense to the story. Like, okay, so how is she this strong, but she's still struggling? If she was
Yeah.
already this strong, she should be like getting her shit done within 30 minutes of the movie.
Right. Yeah. I try not to think about it too much. Yeah, I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna try and see if this movie's good. And
I mean,
so like,
okay, well, let me just air this shit out, because we all know that they were competing with Gal Gadot's first Wonder Woman. That's the only
yes.
reason why they were doing it.
So like, okay, so like I said, I try not to think about it, but I do end up thinking about it. The thing with Carol Danvers, the movie was, like you said, she just came in and she was like level 9,000 already. And there was no character development, right? So if you just if you watch a movie or a song or whatever, and they're proclaiming like they're the strongest, but they're struggling, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. Like you're
Yeah.
contradicting yourself. But if there's like character development, like where you feel for the character, the story is good, and like it doesn't even cross your mind that there's like a message there. It's just like, damn, this movie is like so freaking good. Like I love this character. But with Carol Danvers, it's like she came in and she was all like, "Ooh, ooh," but she would still get punched and stuff like that. So you're just like, all right.
Yeah, that just, I mean, like, it's just what it is. It's already been
Yeah.
done. I just hated how they just brought her in. Like they gave her a movie right before Endgame. I thought that was just a very dumb move for
Yeah,
them to do. I did not like that.
I felt like they did it just so she'll make sense in Endgame or something like that.
Yeah, but her, like it would have been way more epic had they just not shown her at all.
Mm,
And first 15 minutes, bam, there she is.
yeah. Yeah, I would have honestly I would have liked it if she just entered an Endgame, right?
Yeah.
No announcement, no whatever, and all of a sudden at the end, I felt okay. That scene was pretty cool. Where what is it? Friday was talking to Iron Man, and she was like, "Something's approaching the atmosphere." Like, imagine if the Captain Marvel movie was never made, and then in Endgame you hear that, and you're just like, "Who is it?" You might think like it's someone else or like Silver Surfer or whatever, but you look up and you see Carol Danvers. You're just like, "What the fuck?" To me, I thought that was cool. That was a cool scene. I felt like that would have been a good intro to Captain Marvel.
Quick tangent. Now that you're making that scene, did you see the Toretto meme one? Where like something's entered the atmosphere and it's
Yeah,
Dom
yeah.
Toretto driving his car, his Charger. Dude, that's like the best thing ever.
Dude,
Oh
those
my god.
memes are like on a whole nother level. That I remember when I was watching that movie, because you gotta admit, the Fast and Furious franchise has officially gone nuts. And when those memes came out, I was like, "Dang, that's funny." And then when the Endgame meme came out with Dom, I was like, "Oh my goodness, they would."
Dude, they what they've done to Dom is the same they've done to Aaron, to Zoro from One Piece, to Anya
Mhm.
and Spy Family. Dom Toretto is a universal memeable character.
Yeah,
He can go into any universe and fit now.
yeah,
And it's always the same joke. That's what makes it so good. He's like,
yeah.
there was the Demon Slayer one where Ren Goku's like, "Don't fight him, Don. He's a demon." He's
Yeah.
like, "Nothing stronger than family." You know, like, oh my god, it's so stupid, but it's so fucking funny. Oh, I love the Dom memes. They're freaking
Yeah.
great. And I love how the franchise has now just taken those jokes and just run with it. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
it,
I like it when studios do that. You remember? Okay, you remember have you watched Obi-Wan yet?
yes.
You remember at the end when he went up to Luke and was like, "Hello there." I was like, he said it.
Yeah, like the Leonardo DiCaprio memes, like, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
He said it. You know, like that was really cool. Okay,
Yeah.
did you like what they did with Obi-Wan though? Like, honestly, the only thing I really liked about that series was his fight with Vader. Like that was
Same.
it.
Same. I felt like I think me and Gao, is that how you pronounce Gao's name? Gao Ku
I don't know.
from Pontiac. And you know him from Pontiac?
I think I'm friends with him, but I don't think I've ever
Okay.
really met him.
Yeah, okay, same here. But so me and Gao kind of discussed it on Facebook where it's basically a movie and they just cut it up into episodes because I felt like it would have been more cohesive as a movie than it was a series. It really did drag the first couple of episodes up until Darth Vader.
Yeah, honestly, Vader carried it. Like
He did.
Vader carried that, dude. The scene where he fucking took down the ship. He was just like
Dude,
bam, and just like
I
how
was
sick that was. Like,
when
dude,
that scene came up, I was like,
like, 'cause, you know, they show like people with the Force, like they'll have like struggles or
right.
like beam battles and shit. Vader just went up and just took it down. He's like, no,
Yeah.
bring your ass back. Like,
Dude.
that's how freaking strong he is.
So I'm a late bloomer to the Star Wars franchise. I always knew it was there, and I liked the characters and stuff like that, but I never really watched the movies. Right? It wasn't until I watched The Mandalorian and I loved it. I was like, dang, this series is good. And then they showed Luke Skywalker, and then I was like, okay, so this is set before the rise of the Force arises, whatever. And so I was like, okay, let me just go watch it, just to see how it is, right? So I watched it all the way from the prequels to the original trilogy up until the Skywalker trilogy, and I was like, bro, this is some deep shit, dude. And then I got hooked on to it, and then now I'm in my Star Wars phase right now.
Are you watching like the cartoons and like reading
Yeah.
the books and all that?
I got done with Clone Wars, and now I'm watching the Bad Batch, and then I'm reading. So there's this Darth Vader comic book series right now, and it takes place after. Um, was it A New Hope or
I don't
the?
know. There's always like a different Vader series. Like the one I read
Yeah,
was like it took place right after Order 66, where he went hunting for the other Jedi's.
yeah, that one, and then he's going. He's seeing like Tatooine where Padme was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm reading that one,
Okay.
and so I was like, so I'm reading that one, and just a whole bunch of like Star Wars stuff. I'm getting it, I'm reading it, doing my research and stuff like that, and I'm just like, damn man, like why did I not discover this like sooner?
I have cousins who are really into the Star Wars lore. Like I'm
Mm,
not into it. I like because there's a lot that goes into like just the Jedi and Sith way, the balance of the Force, the
Yeah,
philosophical things that
yeah,
that Yoda and all them talk about. Like I get it. If you like, if fans are that are already in deep in that lore, I
mhm,
get why y'all like it. For
mhm,
me, as a kid growing up, the only reason why I stuck around with Star Wars was because of Vader. That's it. And even now,
yeah,
as an adult, I still fuck with Vader.
yeah,
And everyone else, I'm just like, I could care less.
yeah,
Like, I really liked Rogue One and season one of Mando. Like, I like that because it was still in Star Wars
mhm,
like lore or setting,
yeah,
but it was just a whole different.
yeah, yeah. To me, like when Darth Vader is one of the most complex villains out there. And that fight in Obi-Wan where like he was like Anakin's gone, and I was like,
Dude,
and then
I'm
when
not gonna lie.
freaking Obi-Wan
I
started crying,
teared up. I teared up
yeah,
watching that scene when like Obi-Wan was like, he's like, I'm so sorry, Anakin.
yeah,
He's like, Anakin's dead. I'm like, oh my god,
yeah, I know.
fucking feels.
I was sitting there, I was holding like my wife was watching it with me. I was
Like
like holding my
really?
eyes, and my wife's like, "Babe, really? You crying?" I was like,
They were boys.
"Dude, it was so emotional." And like his screams when he was like yelling at Obi-Wan, like Obi-Wan, I was like, "It's gonna haunt me for the rest of my life now."
No, you know what I really liked was when they switched from the actor who played Anakin and then went to Darth Vader's voice.
Yes,
That was really
that
cool.
that was smart. I think that was a good way to bridge the characters because to me, and a lot of fans could agree with it too, where like Anakin as a Jedi was so different, and then him as a Sith, like as Darth Vader, and with his voice change, it's just like it wasn't him to
Yeah.
me. So it was like a different person. But then like when they were doing the voice changes back and forth, I'm like, okay, that makes more sense. You know, like it really brings him like his character full circle, where like it's really Anakin Skywalker, just not James Earl Jones, oh the Junior.
Yeah, I think it was great to just like showed Anakin's last moments to
Hmm.
Obi-Wan. Like why in A New Hope why Obi-Wan says Vader killed Anakin. Like it's
Yeah,
because it's that scene right there did it for me. Like it's like
yeah,
that was a great way to show the full transition of Anakin turning to the dark side.
mhm,
Like, he's gone. Like he's not coming back.
yeah, and like
Up until, where he beats Palpatine.
right, and like in a recent interview, I think who is it, John Favreau, he said he's kind of trying to build like Star Wars, kind of like the MCU, where he started with the Mandalorian. Um, and he's kind of like the Iron Man of his planned Star Wars
Of
universe.
course.
Yeah, and so he's doing a lot of that. What else was that I was gonna say? And yeah, everything he's doing is gonna take place like between um the rise was it Return of the Jedi and what is it
Force
Force
Awakens.
Awakens? Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So he's gonna do a lot, and I'm excited for that.
Well, that is a lot of. I mean, he does have the space to fill because like that's a huge time jump from,
Yeah,
from the last Star Wars movie up into for the Force Awakens.
right.
And honestly, Grogu still kind of like stands out to me. Like I want to see where this character is going.
Yeah,
Because how is he gonna fit in when Kylo Ren is in the picture?
right, right. I'm still trying to figure out, like you said, how he fits in, what his future is, because man, I'm a sucker for like leaked videos. So I kind of watched a leaked trailer for the Mandalorian season 3. Was it 3 or 4?
I think
It's a
season 3 because they did
3.
the Book of Boba Fett. I didn't even watch that. So
Oh, right. So season 3, and there's a small Mandalorian helmet, and
On
it was
Grogu?
like it was a good 1 second, and I was like, oh shit! And I think it's for Grogu. I was
Dude,
like,
he's
oh,
not a Jedi, but he's gonna be another Mando. Holy
I was
shit!
like, shit, that's gonna be
Or
badass, though.
a Mando with a lightsaber. Oh my
Yeah,
god, dude!
dude, that's gonna be badass.
I just hope that they can fit him into the story because
Yeah.
because like what they did with the sequel trilogies or the Rise of the Skywalker trilogies, like
Yeah.
that kind of put a really or at least I know most fans that put a really bad taste in my mouth. Like I
Yeah.
didn't like Force Awakens. There was so much you could have done with that. Like, can Finn be a Jedi without really being a Jedi, or
Right.
who's Rey's parents? Is she really a
Mm.
Skywalker? Is she an is she Obi-Wan's daughter? Or like even if the whole Palpatine thing, right? But they just like rushed it, and I hated that, like out of nowhere Palpatine just like, I'm back, I'm the
Yeah.
main villain again. Like dude, what?
I've
Like
been here
there
all
was
along.
right there's no other villains out there. Like you're still the mastermind behind this.
Yeah.
And ironically, now that we even talk about Star Wars, my cousin actually sent me a fan made argument video that it's Jar Jar Binks that's behind everything. Like it makes. I'll send you the link later, but like it makes so much sense to where like it just makes sense. Like I would not be mad if Jar Jar was the actual villain. Like he played stupid the whole time.
Yeah.
To make us laugh at him, trust him, believe in him, and then dude just comes out like top tier.
What is it? So I think Rey is a Skywalker because it's been canonized, the comic books, right? It's been canonized. So it turns out that Palpatine was the one that created the mitochondrions in Anakin Skywalker. So that confirms that Palpatine is actually Luke Skywalker's father, right? So
Wait,
obviously
Palpatine is Luke Skywalker's dad?
Yeah. So
that's in the comic books?
Yeah, it's in the comic book. It's like an earlier Darth Vader. I think it's one of the early Darth Vader comic books. And so he didn't have sex with Anakin's mom, but then
so he pretty much Batman Beyond Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, basically that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, basically, that's like spot on. And so that happened, and then so Anakin, and then Luke and Leia, and then like Leia to Kylo, and then for Rey's father is a clone of Palpatine, and but he was like a defect or whatever. I forgot which book it was. It was confirmed in a novel or in a book. It was in a novel that came out recently. And so Rey's father is Palpatine's defected clone who didn't want to be with serve the dark side or whatever. So they left, and then that's why they left Rey on that planet so Palpatine wouldn't get to her. So technically, Rey is blood to Luke and Anakin.
Dude, that's some monk shit though, man. I mean,
yeah, I know. I was reading. I was like,
her and Kylo, like that's some monk shit, dude.
Yeah, I know. And then Kylo and freaking Rey ended up kissing too. Which made no sense. I was like, y'all didn't even have any chemistry.
I was like I hated that. It was just like I like that Kylo redeemed himself. I thought that was great. I
felt
wish
like they should have focused on Kylo.
Yeah, I wish he didn't die.
Yeah,
but the kiss was a bit forced, and just like how they tried to force Marie Tran with the actor who played Finn, like Rose and Finn. Like there was no need for diversity, multiracial relationships and Star Wars.
It was
there was no push for this. There was no need
for
this.
It was really weird because we're led to believe that Rey and Finn had something, right? Because they were super close, dolls together, and they even shared a moment where they were kind of close, right? So you're watching the movie. For me, in my opinion, I'm watching. We're like, okay, they're gonna get together, and then boom, Finn and that girl kissed, and then boom, Kylo and Rey kissed, and I was like, what are they doing here?
I kind of blame I might get attacked for this. I kind of blame China for this because I think what happened was they shrunk Finn's character in the poster down to
Oh,
where
I've seen that. Yeah.
they didn't make him. Even though he is an important character, they didn't want him to be an important character.
Mhm.
So I think because China's a big market for Disney, they kind of like tweaked his role. You know,
Man.
like so, like I mean, you know how Asians are too, man.
Yeah.
Like at least on the east side, like there's like dude, like some of the Asian people for that market, man. Like like I think it's crazy that like if you do one thing wrong to them, like they'll purposely like not support you. And of course,
Yeah.
Marvel and Disney they need that market. You know, that's where
Right.
they
Right.
sell a lot of tickets there.
Right. Yeah. That's the thing about IPs and addresses that I don't like. Like since it's such a big franchise, right? You're gonna need the support of like everyone you can get, and that's one of the struggles with IPs, and that's why I like indie films too, where it's just like low budget for the local people. It's for like just the United States or something like that, and it's good. You know, well written story. No one interferes with it. There's no big company out there saying you can't do this and that,
Yeah.
and that's what I really appreciate about indie films too.
Well, speaking of that, you are working on indie films right now. I saw your post on Facebook.
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah, some short films and stuff like that. Currently in a Power Ranger short film.
Okay, I was gonna ask you about that
Yeah.
too, but we can talk about that in a bit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, so there's those going on, and then like acting for me, I've always wanted to do it just because I like filming and stuff like that. So started doing that again, and you know, here in Michigan, surprisingly, there is quite a few, but it's not like big productions. I would say the last.
not to cut you off.
Yeah.
You're back in Michigan? I thought you were from like Wisconsin.
No, I'm back in Michigan. I'm in Lansing now.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Wait, so you moved back?
Yeah. So then I lived here in Lansing, well, Detroit, Lansing, Wisconsin, and now back to Lansing.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes more sense now.
Yeah.
I thought you were just like in Michigan for like a business or a trip or something, right?
No,
A movie.
no,
Okay.
I'm here for good. Yeah.
Okay, well continue. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Okay. Yeah. So like I was gonna say surprisingly here in Michigan, I would say the last big production was Batman versus Superman in East Lansing, I think. And that was 2014.
2014, around there.
Yeah.
Funny you bring that up too, because Whitney Yang was on my podcast. We talked about that too, how she was in Batman vs Superman.
Yeah. That was so surprising. I was watching it and then I was like,
she spoke Hmong. She's like, show. I'm like, oh
Yeah,
my god, I know what she's saying.
Show, and then I was like, man, that sounds so familiar. And I was like, oh shoot, is that Whitney? It's funny. It's like it wasn't okay. It wasn't funny. It was cool, but it caught me off guard so bad because you don't hear Hmong in films at all. And then like because that scene where the cops are going down, and then like you could hear Whitney speaking a little bit. I was like,
why do I understand what they're
yeah,
saying?
I was like, this is kind of sus. And then like it showed her. I was like, oh, okay, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that's the thing about like seeing Hmong folks in movies is because it's so uniquely different when you because we're so used to hearing like Korean, Mandarin or Chinese or Japanese in movies. So when you hear a language that you can understand that's not in English, it's a very proud moment, but it's also like I don't need subtitles for this.
Yeah. I know exactly what she's saying.
Do
Yeah, it was
know
pretty cool.
what she's saying? Because I do.
Yeah. It was funny.
Shout out to Whitney, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Shout out to Whitney for being in that. Like, for the folks who have not seen it yet, I don't have a video episode, but go check out the audio of me and her talking about her experience on Batman vs Superman. So yeah, shout out to Whitney. But yeah, you were mentioning like just doing short films in Lansing, and you know, I guess. Did you want to talk about your Power Rangers stuff first before you get into your short film?
Yeah,
because I know you're working on one. So how did you get into this Power Ranger short film?
So actually, the Power Rangers short film, I'm working just as an extra, and then like I'm gonna be part of their like. So they're trying to aim it to be kind of like the Power Rangers seasons, right? Where like there's this series and the next one. So I'm in their 5th one, but I got into it because they're like on Facebook. There's a Facebook group called like Acting Opportunities in Michigan, and so I joined that, and they'll post up roles and stuff like that, what they need, if they need reels, headshots, or like resumes and stuff like that, and they'll put up their email. And so I shot the producer. His name was Justin Weber. I shot him a message, and I auditioned, and then everything was just good from there on. So that's how I got involved, and that would a lot of the acting stuff I do is mainly in the Detroit area. In Lansing, there is like nothing. So a lot of the acting I do is in Detroit, and the Power Rangers production, like I said, it's a fan film, but the group of people I work with, they're like fantastic. Like even if it's a short film, being on set there is very professional. I felt like I was actually in Hollywood whenever I was there.
Nice.
So there's that. I think that's going to be released this month. It's called Power Ranger Gem Paladins. So that's going to be released this month. Like I'm not in that one, but I help like with being like the Power like the villain minions or whatever.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
you actually like dressed up and
Right.
okay.
So we did that. So much work goes into 5 minutes. Like, we spent like I would say like what four weekends shooting a certain film, and I saw a rough cut of it, a rough cut. That whole scene that took 4 weekends, probably like 2-3 minutes, and
Just
it
like
was
different shots, editing and lighting and all that
right.
stuff. Yeah.
This is so much. They work really hard for it. So I'm really proud of them, and just proud of the whole crew that help out. A lot of us we volunteered to do a lot of other things besides being the extra. You do like sound, slate, or whatever. They teach you on the spot too. So yeah, that's the Power Ranger fan film that we've been working on. So yeah, coming out this month. I forgot what day, but definitely like keep an eye out for it. I think it's really good.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely share it when I see it.
Yeah.
But you're also working. I saw some of your photos that you did. You did some like behind the scenes stuff where you're editing a video or like you were promoting another short film. Is that something that you're working on, or is it
the one where I had like the fake tattoos and the
yeah.
So that one, I worked on that one too. That one it's only like 5 minute. It's a 5 minute short film. So I did that one I think a couple weekends ago with the buddy eating gym down in the Detroit area. We did that one. I was kind of promoting it too, and then I'll wait until like the full when he's done editing, and then I'll post up everything and just do behind the scenes stuff. But that one was fun too because I didn't have no speaking roles. It was mainly just grunting, and it was like it gets awkward at first, but then like you got like I had to like think like okay, this is just acting. It's not real life and whatever. So it was fun though.
Is it for like one of those 48-hour festivals?
No, it was just for the heck of it. He wrote the script, and then he I think he had a crew already, and then so he posted the casting call up on Facebook. I applied for it, and then like I said, auditioned, and then it was all good from there.
But today you were also, I think was it today you shared a 48-hour because I've been a part of something like that too, where shout out to Clean Slate Productions. Like I wasn't actually in one of their short films.
Yeah,
and,
so
and I got to be a part of or see the 48-hour like film thing and all that.
So a lot of the guys that I worked with on the Power Ranger short film, they were the ones that did that one. I didn't have any part of that one, but I just wanted to share just to support them.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Have you thought about like working with some of the Hmong folks here or there in Michigan too? Like I say, Clean Slate Productions. They're the Dao Yang. He does like the videography. My buddy Chen is the CEO of it. Andrew's worked with them before. And then there's also my buddies Josh Tauby, Blue View Cinema. Like they do short films and stuff like that too. You should definitely reach out to those guys, man. Like they're in Michigan too.
Yeah, I want to, but then the thing was like I didn't know any like Hmong videographers and stuff like that, so that's why
There's also Andrew.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and he did direct that one short film too. Yeah, so I don't know. For some reason, I don't know why. For some reason, I get so nervous approaching like other Hmong artists.
It's because they're gonna make you drink Bud Light. That's
Yeah, I know, man. Like you're not filming. You're all they get drunk.
It's like,
Dude.
oh, you got to do one shot before we go in this. Like,
Yep.
what the fuck? Get the
So
shit out of here.
like, I was like, yeah. If I go in and pitch a short film, they're gonna be like, "We'll do your short film. But you gotta do one lip with us." Like,
fuck that. No, nothing against like it's true. Like in Michigan, there's not a lot of
yeah.
Hmong teams or people.
Mhm.
Like I only know them because of like just through like connections of friends and family. But
Yeah.
In Michigan overall, I have not seen that many like even generally just like Asian short film groups.
Yeah.
There, so it's
Yeah.
hard to find them. Like they'll be in another like set, but it's not like a Wong Fu deal where like
Right.
they're
Right.
like an all Asian team. You know, there's not
Right.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's difficult because like you said, not a lot of Hmong people here in Michigan that does like these kind of things, and like being like me, honestly, like I don't go out too much. So then like I barely know people. If I know someone, then it's because someone introduced me to them. And so like um people always have connections, but I feel like I don't because when I was younger, like my parents were like super overprotective. They didn't even let us go to like sleepovers and stuff like that. And like when I talk to these guys who, like knows like a photographer, they're like, "Oh yeah, like we grew up together, like we spend time and like this." But I'm like, man, I don't know no one. Yeah.
Yeah, same for me. Like a lot of the people, again, a lot of the people who are in media that I know, is just through like mutual friends or like
Yeah.
people who knew my cousins and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
honestly, had it not been for like meeting Andrew or my cousin's friends, outside of that, I probably would not have known anyone else that was in like media. That's Hmong.
Yeah. Yeah, and like the Hmong people here in Lansing, I'll say the Hmong people in Detroit and the Detroit area, they're way more active and outgoing. And because I don't know if it's because the Detroit area itself is like bigger with more opportunities and stuff like that. But a lot of the Hmong people here in Lansing, I'll say the most they would do is just photography. Um, when it comes to like artistic stuff, I'm sure not to no offense to anybody, but like there's just not a lot going on here in Lansing. So then, yeah, in Detroit, I know that like Hmong people are just way more active down there.
Well, there's also like the fact that there's an established community there.
Yeah, yeah,
So like it's kind of, for me, it's like a double-edged sword too. Just like because it's an active community, but then everyone knows everyone.
yeah,
So you're gonna meet everyone, and then the downside to that is everyone's gonna know your business because everyone knows everyone there. So like that's what I don't like. But
typical Hmong stuff.
yeah, but like it's what the community is. But then I just I've said this before on the podcast too, man. Like I love to see more Hmong folks in the media aspect of entertainment, but everyone just wants to be a rapper. Everyone wants to be a singer. Everyone wants to be a top tier one YouTuber. Like there are other avenues. I preach this on my podcast too. There are other avenues that we can do as Hmong folks in entertainment that is not that.
Yeah, definitely. Like Doa Moa, Doa, that guy, obviously the first Hmong person to be in Hollywood. He's a big inspiration because he definitely took a different route and he succeeded in it. And I like rooting for him. I want to see some more projects from him. Looking forward to his I think his movie Roots, right? Roots is coming out soon.
No, Roots is the old slave movie. I think his movie is The Harvest.
The Harvest, yeah. Roots, what the heck?
Roots is Kuta Kinte.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. The Harvest, not Roots. What the heck?
That's a sad movie though, man. Roots is
a really sad movie.
Roots. I've watched it, and every time I watch Roots, it's a tough watch. Like it's just because it's historical, and then like like all that stuff's true. Like that shit happened in the States.
When they showed it in school, I was like, "This is gonna be my first and last time watching this. This is heartbreaking."
It's a hard watch. But yeah, Duomo's The Harvest. He had some Hmong actors in there too. Like they had Noom Plies in there apparently.
Really?
Yeah, apparently, Guli, that's his actual name, but like I
Yeah,
think he's
yeah,
in there, and then that I think he's trying to bring up some of like the Hmong like old school Hmong
yeah,
actors or like videographers or something like that.
yeah.
But I am interested in seeing how that project's going to turn out. Um, I just yeah, he's somewhat active. Duan was somewhat active
Mm,
on social media and stuff, but he when he's not when he's not working on that stuff, then he's kind of like pretty low key.
yeah. What is it? Uh, Going back and watching like the old school Hmong movies. Okay, talking about Hmong actors, I low key think that the OGs can act better than the new ones.
There's a sort of cringe that comes with the new age Hmong actors
Yeah,
because I think it's because our Hmong is not good anymore.
yeah,
There's an Americanized way of how we speak
mhm,
and even sing or write. Like it's different. It's not as melodic as when you go back
yeah,
and watch like Nung Pai Tet Jaw. Like
yeah, yeah,
it's different. Like the way how we speak is different.
yeah,
So like when you go and like okay, when you go and watch like these Hmong music videos on YouTube and shit, right?
mm,
Some of the acting is hella cringe
yeah,
because like the has to me it's just like how is your camera quality this good
yeah,
but y'all can't act for shit like
yeah.
it's still just as bad.
I
So
think yeah, the beef for me is the audio.
oh like, when they overdub themselves
Yeah,
it's kind of like
yeah,
Tommy Wiseau's The Room, right, where
yeah,
they talk over each other. Have you seen
yeah.
that
I'm
movie,
like,
The Room?
I think I've seen it.
Tommy Wiseau and Greg Sestero, like oh man that's a cult
No,
classic.
I don't think I've seen it.
Oh, okay, have you
Oh,
seen
who-
The
like
Disaster Artist?
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
haven't seen the movie, but I've heard of it.
Yeah, so that's what that sounds like. When you brought up the audio, that's what it sounds like to me. It
Yeah.
sounds like because in that movie, Tommy Wiseau dubs over himself in his
All
own
right.
movie. So that's what it sounds like when you hear like Hmong folks. Why the audio could be so trippy? It's because sometimes they do dub over themselves,
Yeah,
and then like the audio balances aren't really there. Like you can clearly tell it's dubbed.
yeah. You met Tommy, right? I remember you had a picture of you and him.
Yes. I was able to meet both Tommy and Greg Sestero.
Oh wow.
I met Tommy Wiseau in 2015,
Mhm.
I believe, or no, maybe later than that. I think 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met him at one of the what was that theater? I forgot what that theater was called. It was in Royal Oak. They closed it down last year.
Oh okay.
It's like an old school theater, like a long running old school theater. But I was so sad when that place shut down. But yeah, I met Tommy Wiseau there. He was really cool, really nice, very chill.
Mhm.
He's exactly like how he is in like what you see him act in the movie.
Mhm.
It's kind of like how he is in real life, which is
Okay.
it's really weird. Greg Sestero, I met him in Oklahoma. He's
Oh wow.
the yeah he's the writer for the Disaster Artist,
Mhm.
the actual book, and I met him and I got to interview him for like 20 minutes on my podcast.
Oh cool.
Yeah, his agent recently just reached out to me too, to try to come back and meet him at an event, but I might not go just because I don't know what my schedule is gonna be like.
Yeah, yeah,
But he was pretty cool, but like
yeah,
he's just very chill. Like
yeah.
he's not gonna talk to you unless you talk to him type of deal.
Right.
Like
Oh okay. Okay.
yeah. So, but Tommy was really. I think meeting Tommy Wiseau was a lot cooler. Like he was
Oh,
just like interacting with the fans, throwing footballs. Like he was just, I don't know,
he
but
seems like a cool guy.
oh yeah, he is. He just, I can't. He's very unique.
Mhm.
I don't think there's no one else like this dude. Like this guy is one of a kind, just different.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't seem like a celebrity or a personality, but at the same time he's like just so different.
Okay.
And there's a lot of like rumors or theories of of who and what he is. Like
Mhm.
some I read because like I don't think it's ever been established what his real age is or where he's
Oh
from.
okay.
So like I think the closest thing we got is like he's somewhere from Europe. I
Yeah,
think
I can see that.
because his accent, he says he's from Louisiana, but his accent's not Louisiana.
That's
It's
not a
definitely
southern accent there, man.
it's definitely like a Jean Claude type shit, like that,
Yeah.
like a European accent. So I think he's
Mhm.
from Europe, but I think he's like some sort of he comes from old money. There's no
Oh,
other
yeah.
way. There's no other way to explain like how he was able to afford his budget for his movie,
Yeah.
afford all the ads, and at his time, like early 2000s, like there's no like
Mhm.
internet shit, like billboard ads and all that shit. So
Yeah.
like I think he comes from old money.
Yeah. I think
I
so
don't
too.
I don't know what exactly, but I think he comes from old money, and I heard that he has a lot of like clothing stores in Korea, and so he makes his money through those small little chain stores and shit.
Yeah, I can see that.
I could be wrong though, but anyone who's listening, if you're at this point of the podcast, if you're listening to me talk about Tommy Wiseau and you know what the actual facts are, let me know, because I could just be spewing false information or bullshit. But I think this is the case. But yeah, other than that, I can't explain how he, like, that's the only explanation of how he can
Yeah.
afford all this shit.
He
And
has
then, like,
some connection somewhere.
Oh yeah, he
Yeah.
definitely he knows somebody, or he is somebody that we
You're
don't
right.
know.
You're right.
Yeah.
Going back to Kamen Riders, I remember earlier in the podcast, you said you didn't like the new Kamen Riders. Like, what was the reason why you don't like it? I could probably guess why, but I just wanted your explanation.
I don't like the new Kamen Riders because it was, I guess, the root. Like, it wasn't as aesthetic as the old ones were.
Yeah.
At one point, I didn't watch. I watched like a little bit of the few new ones, but then the one that really got to me was Decade, the pink
Mhm.
one. And his superpower was just to turn into any other Kamen Rider. I'm like,
Yeah.
really, bro? Like 20 years of this shit, and now you're giving the Kamen Rider the most OP ability. You could be any Kamen Rider you want.
Right.
I'm
I
like,
actually really like Decade. I watched all of it, and I'll say of all the new Kamen Riders, Decade is actually one of my favorites. But I think what really made me kind of stop was, have you heard of Kamen Rider X8?
is that the one with the spaceship?
No, that's the guy that has actual eyes, and like instead of antennas, it's like pink hair.
I've never heard of that one. The
Dude.
last one I seen with the face mask like that, or close to that, was V-Man. He had like no mouth covering. He was like the
Yeah.
old one. Yeah.
So I like V-Man. V-Man was actually one of my favorite ones. He looked cool. But okay, so X8, it's not okay. It's not actual eyes, but it's anime eyes.
Oh, okay. I know what
Yeah.
you're talking about now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I was like, bruh, come on, really?
It looks like a freaking mascot instead of like an actual
Yeah.
Kamen Rider suit.
I was like, dude, what are they doing? I mean, people like hardcore fanboys who watched it were like, you gotta, not mind that. The story's really good, which I'm pretty sure it was good. But us growing up, like watching Black RX, or like really attuned to the Showa Kamen Riders, we want to at least have some good eyes.
Yeah,
And
you
like,
got to stick with the classic aesthetic for the mask,
right.
Like because honestly, Kamen Rider, it's all about the mask, the build
Yeah.
of the mask. Like you have
Yep.
to, there's a consistent look to it.
Yeah. And so I was like, dude, and then after that I stopped watching it. I'll say I try to watch Revice, the current one right now. It's pretty good, but to me it was just their transformation belt is also one of my biggest beefs too, because back then it just appeared and then like it actually looked like it was transforming, right? But now like it has its own AI. Like you put it on, like from from what I see, they put it on and then like they do the whole transformation sequences, and literally someone is yelling out of the belt, and I'm just like,
Oh, okay. It's kind of like a video game. It's like how
yeah, yeah,
DK transforms, and you hear like them screaming,
yeah,
like, oh, like Kamen Rider DK, bam, they transform.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's not
And
like how
so
Black RX does, where he just like square up and then he just
yeah, yeah,
transforms.
yeah. And I'm just like, it's just there's so much going on now, and I understand it's for toy sales, because that's where Kamen Rider makes the most money, is from toy sales, right? And I get it, but us OGs, or like the ones that grew up watching the Showa ones, like dude, there's too much screaming going on. Like imagine you're in the middle of a fight, right? You're fighting for your life and the life of like humanity, whatever. And then like this super happy tune comes on and it breaks the tension. I'm just like, man.
Well, that's my thing too with
Mhm.
the newer Kamen Riders, was that like the storylines were getting weaker.
Yeah.
It became more childlike
Mm.
Power Rangers type
Yeah.
stuff, versus like the old school Kamen Riders. Like dude, like even Ichigo, Nigo, V3, like they had some pretty dark storylines.
Yeah. Yeah.
Skyrider was really dark at one
Yeah.
point. Kamen Rider Black, dude, like that's a dark storyline
That's
for
a
just Kamen
dark
Rider.
ass story.
Yeah, if you watch it as an adult now, like damn, we were watching this shit as a kid. Like
Yeah.
it's a serious. The tone of that show was pretty serious. It was
Mhm.
pretty much damn near like DC Black Label type stuff.
Yeah. Literally.
So
I think one of the big reasons was there was so much complaints going on. So like there's certain rules that they have to follow now when it comes to tokusatsu and stuff like that. I think the last time there was a lot of complaints was when Ryuki was on, and that was back in like what 2001 or two. So Ryuki was on. It was a battle royale series, and there was like a lot of blood and killing, and and they said there was like so much influxes of parents um complaining that this isn't for kids. It was supposed to be a kid show. They shouldn't show so much blood. They shouldn't kill people. They shouldn't battle other writers, which they still do. But there was just so much complaints that they're like, okay, we have to cut down on the story. We have to cut down on the gore. Like, you remember Kamen Rider Amazon?
yeah.
Dude, that guy was freaking like tearing monsters' heads off and like blood was flowing. That was crazy.
Yeah, I think that's probably why I had lost interest, or at
Yeah.
least like didn't care about what Kamen Rider was anymore.
Yeah.
But have you seen? I think you shared it too. Like they were gonna do like a tokusatsu like mashup of Evangelion, Ultraman, Kamen Rider,
Yeah.
and Gridman. I think was it Gridman or another character?
I think it
Godzilla.
yeah, Godzilla, Shin Godzilla.
Yeah.
So yeah, the guy who was heading that project is the creator of Neon Genesis, Hideyoko Anno. So he's gonna be combining all of them in one universe, and I'm pretty excited about that. I
I'm
want
not
to see
gonna
where it
lie.
goes.
That promotional photo is badass, dude.
Yeah,
Like
it was good. I was like, whoa.
Ultraman, like I'm a big Ultraman guy because my dad liked Ultraman.
Yeah.
Like Ultraman, Ichigo, and Shin Godzilla, and then Evangelion. It's like, dude, that's so
Yeah.
sick. Like that,
Yeah.
that's like the perfect thing to aim for when it comes to adults liking like old school anime stuff,
Yeah.
or Japanese stuff. Like that's where it's at. That's our market right there.
Have you seen the trailer for the reboot of Kamen Rider Black?
Yes, I've seen. It looks interesting. I think it's supposed to be on Amazon sometime this year.
I'm looking forward to that because they got that actor that's playing Kamen Rider Black. He won like I think he just won like the Japanese version of the Oscars.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
See,
so
I'm not too big on like live action Japanese actors because I feel like they try too hard.
Yeah,
but
yeah, that's
I'm giving this one a shot just because it's Kamen Rider Black. But
yeah, see, that's why I don't like anime live action adaptations.
It ruins everything else.
Yeah, like when they announced that One Punch Man was gonna go live, I was like, I don't know who's gonna play him, but they're gonna butcher this.
You know what's funny is that the stage plays, the actors on the stage plays are better than the actors who do the like live action adaptation movies.
Yeah, dude, for real. The posters for the stage plays, I'm like, dude, like hire these people, man. Like,
right? No, they all look the part.
Yeah,
like the My Hero one, dude, or the first Sailor Moon one, dude. Like those was legit. Like I watched both of them. Honestly, I like the Sailor Moon one, the 2017 one, I think, or the 2019 one.
Sailor Moon.
Yeah, the Sailor Moon stage play.
The Naruto stage plays,
too.
Dude, badass.
Yeah, that one's good.
Yeah.
Like what they can do within a 2-hour set, like keep all the important shit and still do all the stage stuff, like the lights and all the equipment and all that within that time span. It's insane how they work that hard just to do that. And the actors, they gotta sing, act, put on the makeup, look the part.
Yeah, that's crazy. I know that they're doing a My Hero live action too. But I know they announced that a while back. I don't know how production and stuff is going, but I do know I want John Cena to play All Might.
You
Dude,
can't say,
John Cena.
dude,
I
they're gonna
think
have
is.
John Cena play Hakegure, the Invisible Girl.
Oh yeah.
Dude, just have John Cena play that. That'd be so fucking funny.
But dude, like John Cena, he has the smile down. He's buff. I think, yeah, I think John Cena is the perfect cast. But people are like fan casting The Rock, and I'm like,
The Rock's in everything though.
yeah, and he's just gonna be The Rock, like Will Smith.
Yeah, Dwayne Johnson's not gonna be All Might. He's gonna be.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you say,
Yeah.
Izuku. Like he's just gonna say something stupid like that.
What is
Like,
it?
I think I saw some fan castings where it was like All Might as Dwayne Johnson and Scarlett Johansson as Deku because she played
Oh.
an Asian and
Yeah. She played
Ghost in the Shell.
then Ghost in the Shell. Yeah, that's funny.
I'm
What is it,
not. I'm gonna get shit for this. I thought she did okay in Ghost in the Shell.
That movie was good. Besides
thought-
the people didn't like how she was casted as the main character, but I thought it was pretty good.
I liked what they she looks the part. Don't get me wrong, she looks the part, but what they did was like I don't is it like this in the anime too where like it's not her body no more, like she's
Right.
not herself anymore.
Right.
So it makes sense for her to not look like her original self because she's not her no more.
Mhm.
But then at the same time, it's like it's an anime,
Right.
so they should have casted an Asian as
Right.
her.
What have you seen the show Altered Carbon?
Yeah,
On
that's the
Netflix?
one with the guy from Rick Flag's in it, right?
Yeah,
He's in
yeah.
that. And then Falcon's in it too.
Yeah, that reminded me a lot of Ghost in the Shell because like that was kind of the same thing where like the original Walter Kovacs was Japanese, but then like he died, so then like they just uploaded his memory to someone else's. So that's what it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, so that's why I didn't get too mad. Like I know people were mad. I was like, no, go watch the movie, get the context of it, and then if you still don't like it, then you can say you don't like it. But other than that, I thought it wasn't great. It was still watchable. It's Scarlett Johansson. Come on, like we're all watching it because of her.
I would say the best part about that movie was the effects.
Yes,
that was like grade A effects.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, there's that. What else? Oh, and Black Adam. I honestly don't know if I'm gonna like it or not. Because if The Rock is just The Rock, then
even in the trailers, he's Dwayne Johnson.
I'm looking more. I'm more
so
forward.
dumb.
Yeah, I can't say it. I'm more looking forward to the JSA, Dr. Fate.
Dr. Fate. Yep, Dr. Fate and Hawkman.
Yeah, Hawkman looks good.
Dude, that when his wings come out.
Yeah,
dude, that whoever's editing that shit.
I was like,
clean.
It's funny. It's crazy. Okay, I was telling my wife this. I'm like, it's crazy because I grew up reading all these comic books and like stuff like that, right? And to me, I'm like, you know what? It's always gonna make comic books. But as we get older, and as people demand, like as we get older, the more like people are actually like really liking superhero movies. And I'm looking at my wife. I'm like, I can't believe I'm living right now in a time where we actually get to see them come to life, which is really cool.
It's really cool now. It just I sound like an old head when I say this. It's just I hate it because I wish because it makes me want to gatekeep so bad because like a lot of the fuckers that picked on me and hated me for liking this shit are the same fuckers who come out like, oh my god, did you watch this? Did you watch this? Oh, I didn't, but you didn't know. It's like no, you don't get to like this no more.
Yeah,
like, no, I hate to be that kind of person. It sounds really immature, but
dude,
I talked about this with my my artist friend JJ. It's like you guys don't know, or at least not, or the people that picked on me, you guys don't get it. Like you guys trolled on us as kids and hated on us and made fun of us for liking this shit, and now you like it, and like it's just. I'm not saying you can't like it. It's just it's very like it's such a dick move because
no, I feel you. I feel
it's like
same way too.
The nerd geek pain. Like I can't explain it. Like you don't. it's like you don't want to share a toy with someone, you know? It's like,
Yeah,
it's
I know.
like
I know exactly how you feel. I was talking to my wife about that too, because like yeah, I grew up on all this stuff, like Kamen Rider and stuff like that, and like whenever I would draw or something like that, like I'll get picked on it all the time. And then so that's one of the biggest reasons why I kind of stopped collecting or like reading or like watching this stuff like as I get older, because I'm like, you know what? I'm getting bullied too much for this, whatever. And so I stopped doing it, and then like um I started collecting again, like I said, because I knew, and then like MCU comes out, and all of a sudden everybody's um everyone knows about this character, or everyone all is all of a sudden an expert in a comic book,
and
right?
then people are trying to out nerd you.
Yeah, and I'm just like,
Like,
dude,
that's
like
the worst.
I'm like, we've known this stuff since like we were kids, and like some of the guys I know that made fun of me, like I used to have them on Facebook, I deleted them and stuff like that, but like, um, yeah, they'd be like, dude, man, like comic books for kids, whatever, and now they're like, dude, have you seen that movie? It's like it's so deep, and like there's so much things we can learn from comic books. I'm like, what?
Where was this last year?
No, man. What was this when we were kids? You were making fun of me for liking Spider-Man or Daredevil? Jesus.
And that's the thing. Everyone's an expert now.
Yeah.
Like
But
like even for me, like I'm not an expert in this shit. Like I like all this nerdy stuff, but when you really talk to someone who knows their shit,
yeah.
like I'm not gonna pretend like I know just as much. I'm like, oh shit, I did not know. So
Yeah.
like okay, it's like that for me with anime, right?
Mm.
I've always liked anime, but I don't go around saying like this is what I know, this is what it
Right.
is. I'm still learning it as it goes. Like there are still some series that are classics that I have not even watched yet. So I
Mm.
can't even call myself an anime fan if I did not watch this shit. So it's the same thing
Right.
with like all the comic book stuff. It's just
Yeah.
people telling me like, oh, I like this now.
Mm.
Okay, and then they're trying to correct you like, oh no, that's not it. In this issue, this happened. Like, did you learn that off from where like the Mojo channel, or did you
Yeah.
watch like
Yeah. I know. Watch
Comic
Mojo.
Story or something? like because people are getting all their information from now instead of actually like reading the books.
Yeah. Um. But I guess that's what the purpose of comic books are, right? To bring people together, or like movies
Yeah.
and stuff like that. To like.
You need to be the bigger person.
Yeah. Yeah. So if comic books have taught me anything, it's like, you know what? That's all right, as long as there's more peace now. So.
But I don't know, man. With the boys lately, I've been wanting to Homelander some people. So.
Ooh, man, the boys, bro. Shit, that is a phenomenal show. And yes, I am 100% on Homelander's side.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. I would be a Homelander, dude. Like I don't care what people say. If Vault came in like, Ricky, we're testing Compound 5. You want to try it? I'm in. Give me Compound 5. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
But I can say this though. I've only watched the show. I've never read the comics.
Same here.
I started reading it a little bit, but from what I heard is that it's totally different.
Yeah.
It's derived from the comic.
Yeah, and this isn't one of those situations where like, you know what, I'm happy I didn't read the comic books, because I felt like it would have ruined it for me.
Yeah, because then the same people were like, you guys only watch the show. They get like, well, how we are to the folks about comic books, about like, DC and stuff. They would have been like that to us. So it's fine.
I remember I saw the boys when what is it? I saw the boys what is it? The hardcover book at a comic book store once, and I was like, it looks all right, you know, because like the cover is just those like
they're standing over someone.
Yeah.
And
so like that doesn't look interesting. And then when it was announced, I was like, let me read the first couple of issues to see if it was good. I read it; it was pretty good, but then I stopped. And then the show came out, and the shit hit the fan. I was like, what the frick is going on here?
Yeah, it's like a realistic take on superheroes, which I like.
Yeah.
It's not like Injustice, where if Superman, like, if all hell broke loose for Superman, like the boys is like celebrity superheroes.
Right.
And it works in today's age.
Mm-hmm. See, and like in Injustice, like Superman has been Superman, right? But he broke.
Yeah.
But in what makes me really feel bad for Homelander is like he never had what Superman had. You know, he literally was raised in a lab, tortured, and then went out and told people fake stories like, oh yeah, like I grew up on a farm, stuff like that. And I feel like that's what ultimately makes Homelander better than Injustice Superman.
Yeah, because it's not him like finding a reason to save anyone. It's him like, no, this is who I am.
Yeah,
I'm
he
not your puppet no more. Type
right.
deal.
He just wants to save himself.
Yes.
Yeah. Dude. Okay, he is so heartbreaking. Like like I'm like just give him someone to love, someone he can't kill because obviously he might try to kill them, but then like someone he can just love. And
Or
freaking when
someone that can
Jensen
like understand.
Ackles,
Yeah, or
yeah,
like someone who can understand him. You know,
right,
like when he found out that Soldier Boy was his possible dad,
yeah,
all he wanted was an approval, and then but Jensen Ackles was so good. So he's
I know.
like
What a
you're a failure. You're like, oh my
what
god, dude.
you're a fucking disappointment. I was
Yeah,
like,
but he did it
don't
so
say
good
that.
though. He did it so good.
Yeah,
I was like, damn, dude.
man.
Jensen
I feel
Ackles is such a
I'm
dick
like,
in season 3.
yeah. And you remember at the end of season 3, um, when someone threw something at his son.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I was like, you know
and he
what? I would
snapped.
reacted the same way.
Yep. No, okay. I talked about this with my roommate, dude. The scene that made me like Homelander. I never hated him, but like this scene in season 3 where he's on the roof, pretending to save the girl, like the Superman thing.
Oh yeah,
That scene that made me really appreciate Homelander.
yeah. That
It's just
scene
like
was crazy.
it's my
See,
annual birthday save. You know, I'm gonna
yeah,
save you. Don't kill yourself. And then someone that he loved killed themselves.
yeah,
And then he's like, you know what? Jump.
yeah. You know what,
I'm
John?
not. I'm not
Yeah,
asking. like, and then
dude.
the line he's like, there is no God. The only man in the sky is me. Like, dude, that solidifies Homelander so much. Like,
Yeah,
there is nothing you can do to stop someone with his
yeah,
power. Like if I had that power, I'd be the same too. I'd be such a dick. I'd be like, what are you gonna do? Stop me? And
yeah.
what he mentioned to Starlight, I could stop the grid in like in a matter of minutes.
Mhm.
I could end the country in like a day. Dude, like he has so much power and he
Dude.
knows it.
Yeah, Homelander is so freaking OP. It's like each season and each episode just continues to like build him up even more. And I'm just like, how? Because in the comic books, from what I've heard, I haven't read it, but the comic books he's just straight up evil, right?
Yeah.
But in here, this is one of those situations where like when they nerf a character to connect more with the crowd, I think they did it right with Homelander.
Yeah.
This dude is like straight up murdering people, but you just can't help but feel bad for him.
You kind
And
of
I'm just like,
sympathize. Like it's not,
yeah,
but the thing is, he's not anti-hero either. Though he's a straight up
right,
villain, but you
yeah, he's straight
still
up villain,
find a way to sympathize with him
right?
because like I said, it's so perfect for today's age with technology, social
Hmm.
media, celebrity status, getting likes, you know, having a crowd behind you. Like
Yeah,
it's relatable in that sense. I think that's why The Boys right now works so good
yeah,
with whoever's watching it. And I mean, props to the writing staff. They're like
yeah, for
they know
real,
their shit, dude.
yeah,
Like when the Deep was trying to get his likes back up, and so he did the whole Gal Gadot thing. I was
yeah.
dying,
That was funny.
man.
I was like,
Oh
wow, they really
man.
did that. They did that, and they did. You remember that commercial A Train did?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
the Kendall Jenner
yeah.
one.
That was
That
like,
was
man,
good
they
too.
really did it.
Yeah. But see, like that's what makes it so good because like they're making fun of what America's doing.
Hmm.
We
Hmm.
solved racism with Pepsi.
Yeah,
You know, like
dude,
that shit. I was like,
yeah.
come
It's
on.
so stupid, and like, the whole point system that Vought does, it's very. I feel like it's very realistic. If superheroes are real, right? Obviously, they're gonna want the government's gonna come after them. You're gonna
Oh
want to
yeah,
experiment and stuff like that. And then once they're like full-fledged superheroes, like they're gonna set up like bases and stuff like that. And
it's like in China with the social credit score.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
like that. And I was like, I was watching, I was like, dang, unfortunately, this is pretty real because we can't like superheroes basically are vigilantes, so they have to be kept in check, right? And I'm like, it's sad, but it's real because we can't just have, superheroes go unchecked, and then if they're owned by companies, they're obviously going to be like franchised.
That's pretty much.
Yeah.
They're just overpowered celebrities. It's like seeing
Yeah.
LeBron if LeBron had powers.
Yeah, and technically that's what even comic books, as much as I love them, it's like just another source of income for someone.
Oh yeah. But it's again, it all comes down to just what the plot is or who's writing it. Like it's just, again, big props to the boys, man. I cannot wait for season 4.
Season 4, baby.
I can't wait for it. I really want to see where they're gonna go with with Huey and Starlight, and Maeve may or may not come back. But I liked Maeve a lot this season too. I thought she was really good, and then with Butch, all the drugs he's been taking.
Yeah,
I hopefully they find a way to get him back. But,
same here. I don't think the boys will not be the same without Butch.
Yeah, because I think they left it off at that where he's really sick because of all the compound he's been taking. So hopefully that doesn't play too big of a part. But I'm pretty sure they're going to try to not nerf him down, but he's going to be suffering in season 4.
Right. Yeah. It's funny. When I was in Wisconsin, I dressed up as Homelander for Halloween, and only one person at the clinic I was working at knew who I was, and she was like, "Oh, you're so bad, dude." and then everyone else thought, they're like, "Are you Captain America?" "Oh no, you're not Captain America. You're Superman, right?" I'm like, "Nope." And they're like, "Captain America," because he's the one that has the flag. I was like, "Nope." And I didn't tell them who I was because I feel like if I tell them, they're gonna be like, "Oh, dude.
What is that?"
Yeah.
Funny that you bring that up though, because my buddy went to Heroes and Villains Fan Fest in Ohio. I think it was Chicago. I think it was Heroes and Villains. He had a photo op with Emily Bett Rickards, who plays Felicity in Green Arrow, Stephen Amell, and the guy who played John Diggle. I think one of them canceled, so he lost that photo op opportunity with all 3 of them. And since he already paid, he was like, I don't want a refund. I'm like, what am I going to do with this? And they were, okay, well, you can get another trio photo for just swap it. And he met Maeve, Starlight, and Homelander before knowing who they were. So I'm just like, dude, you met them and didn't watch The Boys? Like, what the fuck?
Dude, okay. This year, was it this year? Last year's Motor City Comic Con, they had Anthony Starr, Maeve, and Starlight there too. Last year, I think. Yeah. And I wanted to go so bad and to get Anthony Starr's signature, because I have one of his The Boys comic books up here. It was just a cover of Homelander, and I wanted him to sign in, like put on a personal message on there, but I missed it, and I freaking regret it. I don't know when he's gonna come back.
He was in Texas not too long ago. No, he canceled though. He canceled his
appearance.
But yeah, dude, like that's my going to cons and meeting celebrities before they blow up. That's is why I want to go.
Yeah,
because now the chances of meeting Homelander is slim to none now, because he's gonna be so popular.
He's
Walking Dead, right?
Yeah.
When I met Steven Yeun, it was around season 3-ish. So it was before he died. Okay, so before he died on The Walking Dead, his line was not as bad. Post Negan kill, his line is so fucking crazy long. It's all day wait to go meet him just to get an autograph.
It's like waiting at a roller coaster line for like a 2-minute ride.
But worse, at least in the roller coaster you get like a minute and a half.
Yeah, dude. I remember. Do you know who Jay Lee is?
He's a Korean comic book writer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I have some of his covers.
Yeah, I got a picture with him. What is it? I was over there at Motor City Comic Con 2018, and he was there. No one knew who he was for some reason. Because to me, like his comic book stuff are like huge, right? People love Jay Lee's art, but then when he was there, like no one was there. And So I got a picture with him, got like a what is it, a drawing, and then like just chatted with him for a couple minutes. And then you remember when Tom King called him out?
No, I don't.
So Tom King called Jay Lee out because supposedly Jay Lee was like working with like a racist group of like writers or whatever, which wasn't true. After that, for some reason, it boosted up his popularity, and I think I went there 2019. He was there again, and the line was long. I was like, some some controversy boosted the popularity. But anyways,
That's insane.
Yeah.
I didn't think it'd be like that with comic book writers. I know some of the biggest beef I've seen with comic book writers is when like people steal their work.
Yeah.
Or like they call each other out for like tracing and shit.
yeah,
And I think that was that the case last year or early this year for like Marvel or something like someone was tracing someone's. I saw it on Twitter, and like someone got called out for it.
Yeah.
I think it was like
I
a
think-
DC cover that
I
got
think it
called
was
out.
there was this artist named I think something Matina,
Mhm.
and it looked like he was traced over some other artists like
He
pictures.
traced over like a X-Men cover.
Yeah,
And yeah, that's what I
yeah,
saw.
and then they called him out on it, and then so he had to take it out. No, he didn't. I don't know if he took it out or not. Something happened. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, like it just I don't know. That's the thing too, though. Like being a comic book artist,
Hmm.
you had to make your shit unique, or
Yeah.
else everything else looks the same. Because like
Yeah,
they were looking at it like, no, look at your pen strokes or your ink
Mhm.
strokes. Look at the poses. Look at this. They were pointing out things that I didn't even notice. That
Mhm.
like it wasn't until they put it side to side where I'm like, oh shit, that's
Yeah.
straight up copy.
yeah. Do you have a favorite comic book artist?
Not so much artist or
Mhm.
like when you mean like when it comes to the panels or just cover artist.
Just cover artist.
Cover artist, Art Germ, hands down.
Arger?
Art Germ, hands
Yeah,
down.
Art Germ's
Art
pretty good.
Germ, Lee and Hyuk, pretty much the people in his circle. They all have
Okay.
like similar styles.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Rachda Lin, like she
Yeah.
does some covers. Like, I'm trying to get her back on the podcast too, but
Yeah.
she's one of my favorites. But Art Germ is at the top. Anything Art Germ, I'm buying it, even if I don't
Alright.
read it. Like I purposely bought his Supergirl run for his covers.
Yeah,
I don't even read
Supergirl.
Supergirl.
Yeah, those Supergirl covers are fire, literally.
Like I love the one he did with the Supergirl that was based off the TV show, in the cartoon one where she has the white shirt on.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I like
yeah.
that one, and then
Yeah.
his Gwen Stacy one was really good. So it's like I don't even read Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I
I
just
know
bought it because of
exactly
Gwen
which
Stacy.
ones you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm just like I don't
Yeah.
even read this shit. I'm buying it because I like his style.
Yeah.
What I really wish was that he actually did panels with his art style, but his work is too complex. He's not gonna
Yeah,
do it.
it's way too complex for panels. Yeah, a lot of
Oh.
like I said earlier, a lot of the comic books I got nowadays is mainly because of the cover art.
Mhm.
I think my number one, I want to say number one, but very close to number one would be Gabriel Delato.
I don't know who that is.
Dude, you have to look up his art. It's so good. I think he
does-
started off painting like the Renaissance art, like how like in like
in
I
the
forgot where,
churches
I
and
think in
stuff?
Rome.
Like in churches and stuff.
Yeah. So he started off doing that, and then I think he got contracted by Marvel and DC, and his cover art is like, damn, that's like
Does he do
beautiful.
like a lot of connecting covers or something?
No, I don't think he's done a connecting one so far, but he
Oh,
should.
okay.
Yeah.
Just based off his name, it sounds like he do like connecting covers or something.
Yeah.
like long pieces.
Yeah.
The guy who wrote Harleen, I like his art style too. He did the Aquaman run. He did an Aquaman arc. He did a Suicide Squad arc.
Okay.
I can never pronounce his name. It's like Stepan Sajic.
Oh, I know who he's talking about. Yeah, that guy's good.
Yeah, his art
Yeah,
stands
yeah.
out to me too. I can tell it's his art just by looking at it. But
Mhm.
his Harleen one, dude, like I
Yeah.
follow him on Facebook, and I remember when he was teasing Harleen,
Mhm.
he was doing that, and then like when Harleen dropped, he was like, "Should I do a Selena Kyle and Ivy
Yeah.
series?" I'm like, you better fucking do those, man, because
Yeah.
I'm copying the shit out of it if you do it. But Yeah, but his Harley, I like his Harleen one because like it was very manga-esque
Mhm.
because he did the cover art and he did the panel art.
Mhm.
So like
Dang,
it was
yeah, that
it was
guy's
really good.
good. So for me, there's Gabriel Delato. Who else? Jason Fabic.
Oh,
You
he's
heard
good.
him? Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
how did I
really
forget
good.
it? No, he's good. Like he's
He
good at doing like portraits, like
Yeah.
like face.
he was the only good thing about Three Jokers.
Yeah, his cover art.
Yeah.
No, I met him once.
Oh really?
I met him one time. It was before Three Jokers, but he was really nice about it.
Mm.
We just talked about his artwork and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then there was another one. I literally had Kirkham. I like Tyler Kirkham.
Tyler Kirkham was good.
Yeah, I like his Marvel stuff a lot more for some reason.
Yeah.
His Deadpool is really good.
Yeah.
Not Scott Snyder's the writer. Who's the one that does his art, the art for him? Greg Capullo.
Yeah, Greg Capullo. He's good.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, dang, slipped my mind. Yeah, no, I forgot.
It'll come back.
Yeah.
No, you know who else is good though is Fiona Staples. She does the artwork for Saga.
Oh yeah,
she's
good.
really good.
Mhm.
But man, see, Saga is one of those series that like I read on a whim, not knowing what it was, and was hooked. So that's like
to be honest, I haven't read Saga yet.
Bro,
Yeah.
dude. Like
I heard good things about it.
outside of like the superhero shit, you gotta read Saga because
Mhm.
it's like Game of Thrones, Star Wars, it's science fantasy.
Oh really?
Like it's super good. It's
Yeah.
if anything, that's like for comic book readers who are already in the realm of comic books, I recommend that book. I wouldn't recommend that for someone who's never read comic books,
Right.
but for someone who's like already in it within like, you know, they've already read like Marvel, DC, or like Darkhorse or some shit, and they need something new to read,
Right.
Saga. Go to Saga.
Saga. I had to check that out. I was gonna say you should check out Do a Power Bomb. I made a video about that recently.
I saw your review yesterday. Yeah.
Dude,
It
it's
looks
so
interesting.
freaking good. And I don't even like wrestling. I've read the first 2 issues. I'm like, damn, dude, this is freaking good. Yeah, that's for me. There was a moment in time where I stopped reading superhero comic books because I was just like, it's just the comic book community is so much like we're so saturated with superhero stuff. Like I just want to like quit it for a little bit. And then that's when I discovered what is it? Sweet Tooth, was it? Sweet Tooth. And then who else? Mark Millar did some pretty good non-superhero ones.
Is that how you pronounce his last name? Mark Millar?
I think so.
I always said Mark Miller.
I thought it was Mark Miller too, but I think in an interview I heard him say Mark Millar.
He did the Kingsman stuff too, right?
Yeah. He did
Yeah.
Kingsman. And like yeah, I thought so. Like right now, like I'm reading superheroes and like non-superhero stuff, and so this wrestling one, Do Powerbomb. When it first came out, I was like, I'm not too wrestling. I'm not gonna read it. And then like, I was like, you know what? I'll give it a shot. And then like, I read the first issue, and I was like, oh dang, it's pretty good. And I read the second issue, I was like, damn, this is freaking good.
Who's it published by?
I think Boom Studios.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Boom's
Yeah, I
starting
think
to pick
so.
up. Boom's doing a lot of like crossovers and stuff too.
Yeah. You talking about crossovers? Have you read Crossover?
Oh,
From Image Comics?
the Image Comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard Negan was in it. Negan was one of the villains in there.
Yeah, it was so disappointing, man. Like,
Oh, was it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I just know.
yeah, you didn't
because
miss
Negan was in it.
much. It was because there was so much hype and marketing behind it, and there was even some teases that DC and Marvel was gonna be in there, and I was like, what? I was like, well, okay, I'll check it out. Literally every issue dragged. I was like, even the big names in Image Comics didn't make like some did, but then I was expecting like like Invincible,
Yes.
some of the boys. Was the boys Image? No, that was Dark Horse, right?
I don't know.
Forgot.
Because I haven't read it or
Yeah.
the boys. I think they sound like an Image Comics, but
Yeah.
it could be Dark Horse too.
Yeah, so there was a lot of like big Image comic big names that I thought was gonna come like appear, but then I was like, damn, it's nothing. Yeah, it was disappointing. I would say that was one of the most disappointing comic books too I've read. So
Have you read through all of Invincible?
I did.
Okay.
I did. I binged it.
I I know the story. I know the concept of it.
Mhm.
I know the ending.
Mhm.
I just never took the time to really like read it thoroughly.
Dude,
So
it's like
I kind of like just like spark note it.
Invincible is it's the first comic book that made me look at comics differently because
Okay.
Robert Kirkman did such a good job. I mean, obviously, like nothing's perfect, but I would say Invincible is like a near perfect comic book series. Like it has a solid beginning, middle, end, and even the side stories in there. It's super good, and like even though it doesn't pertain to the actual story, it's just like, dude, like why is it so good?
See, and but that's the thing too. Like I liked it that it was a superhero genre one, but then it didn't feel like
Yeah,
it either. It really felt like a science fiction story
yeah,
with the
because
aliens and
yep, because it takes place, throughout the galaxy too.
yeah,
And yeah, I like how it starts as a superhero. You're led to believe that it's just like another superhero comic book, but it's not.
yeah.
And like I'm just like, man, it made me look at comic books differently. Where like whatever I read nowadays, I'm always like comparing it to Invincible for some reason. I
Nice.
shouldn't do that, but
Well,
it's just
Invincible
that good.
set the bar for you then, pretty much.
Yeah, it
But
really
that, I mean,
did.
that's how I am with Saga. Saga set the bar for me, like when it
Yeah,
comes to like reading books outside of superhero stuff.
yeah,
If I'm reading like a different genre, like I'm looking to see how can you move me with this story because
mhm,
it's not something where I know I'm gonna be interested in. I'm literally judging your book by its cover
right.
at this point. Yeah.
Yeah. And you remember how earlier we were talking about flipping comic books?
Yeah.
So I had it wasn't the original first issue of Invincible, but it was called Layers of Variant. So supposedly there was a lot out there, and so it wasn't worth that much. But when and I sold it for like $100, right? It was before Invincible got popular, and I sold it for $100, and then the show gets announced and the show gets made, and it's good. And that Larry's variant went up to like 4 grand.
Oh my
I
god.
was like,
See that's the thing, like because I'm hoping to God that one of my covers will come back and just give me like
yeah,
5 grand. Like
yeah,
I'm not even asking for like 10 grand. Like if you could just make me like 5 grand, I'm
right,
content with that.
right, dude. So let me see, I have the second, appearance of Adam Warlock because you know how they teased him in Guardians, right?
Yeah.
So I have this one. Supposedly this one's going up in value right now. So I don't know if I should like save it or sell it because
Save it. No,
yeah, I
save it for
want it. Yeah, I want it at a auction. There's only like $25 when I got it, right? Well, on eBay right now it's like 100 something. So
save it.
I'm like,
Save
I
it for
don't
when
know.
Guardians 3 drop because the leaked trailer for Guardians 3 showed Adam Warlock in it.
Yeah, I
So
heard. I haven't seen it yet, but
okay.
I
Oh
want to
my
see
bad,
it.
dude. I
Yeah,
didn't.
no, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, okay.
I
But
yeah,
the leaked trailer apparently has Adam Warlock in it. So that means just wait for that movie to drop. The
yeah,
same thing like Deadpool, dude. Once Deadpool dropped that first appearance issue of Deadpool, fucking
yeah,
skyrocketed.
yeah,
I think even now, like it dropped, but the value still holds up for that
yeah,
first appearance of Deadpool.
yeah. Especially with Disney going for doing that rated R Deadpool 3. I think
Yeah.
it's gonna even go up more. But you know who? You remember who was that guy that they casted for Adam Warlock? Like William something, right?
Yeah, he was in Where the Millers,
Mhm.
the Maze Runner.
Yeah,
He was in Black Mirror. I know who the actor.
yeah,
He looks like Sid from Toy Story.
yeah, exactly. So when they casted him, to be honest, I was like, okay, I can see. I was like one of the guys that are like, I'm happy he got casted. So like because Marvel has a magic touch where like they could cast someone and make them look like a superhero. It's probably all the steroids for the muscle, but um,
Probably.
yeah. But Marvel can like Disney can turn someone to a Marvel character, and people are like, "Oh man, our eyebrow guy from this or whatever." And I was like, "Dude, he's gonna be good."
He's jacked as shit right now.
Yeah.
He's
And he's tall too. I didn't know he was that tall. I saw.
I don't. I didn't think he was that tall.
Yeah.
He's like he leaned out for
Yeah.
Adam Warlock. He's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah,
I didn't think he'd look that great as Adam Warlock. I was like, yo, he's gonna kill this role.
Yeah. Something's gonna happen. They're either gonna put like a lot of prosthetics on him, like the same way Karen Gillan, who plays Nebula.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was her.
Well, the first one, I couldn't tell, but I think Guardians 2, Guardians 2 and Endgame, you can tell it's her.
Yeah.
But the first one though, because she was from Doctor Who, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't tell.
Yeah,
I think first Guardians, she actually shaved her head.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the first one she actually shaved her head. I think the sequel and everything. I think from then on, I think it's just been prosthetic wig.
Yeah, yeah. She was her acting's a little over the top, but I like her as Nebula.
Yeah, I thought Nebula would have had like I always knew Nebula was gonna have like a redemption role just based on how they wrote her. I just wish they gave her like a more one-on-one with Thanos.
Yeah, same here. Like I wish like she like you said, like you know how when Gamora and Thanos were talking and that I think it was like when Gamora was like, I've always hated that seat or whatever. Like I wanted Thanos and Nebula to have something like that, like a heart to heart. Like why is Thanos treating her like that?
Yeah.
And stuff, and like just to get some clarification on why there was some abuse and neglect there.
I mean, like, and they kind of do it to Guardians too, though, where her and Gamora had their little fight,
Right?
But it's just, I think it would have the connection between her and Thanos would have meant a lot more to the viewer. It had Thanos been like, I was never proud of you type shit, like something dark to really see why like Nebula is pushing against the grain so hard. Like Thanos could have just been like, you're not living up to my expectations, or you'll never be like Gamora type thing.
Yeah,
like true Asian parent type shit.
I will never be proud of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. So yeah, comic books, the geek culture has just come so far. There's just so many things now, and like yeah, just we've come a long way.
Yeah, it's like you said though, it's good, but it's when you look at it big picture, it is saturated though.
Yeah,
like it's very saturated, like with cons and all that, right? It's good and bad. There's like like with like everything that comes into life, like there's always a balance of everything. Like what Thanos says, there has to be balance. We need a snap for geek culture because there's too much.
Yeah, I agree. It's too much.
It's just the thing is like I think with how fast the world works now, like people are consuming short-term content.
Oh yeah,
oh yeah. I'm gonna be honest. Like even with this podcast, we've been talking for a little over more than I thought. We've been talking for almost 2.5 hours.
Oh dang!
I know. But whoever's been like whoever's listening to this, I thank you. But like it's just content like this doesn't work anymore.
Yeah,
people are consuming like 10-second TikTok videos.
Yeah,
like they want quick, and I think that's what's hurting like a lot of the geek culture now is because everyone's consuming everything so quickly. They're not going to remember what happened yesterday. It's going to be like what's today. So I think that's what's making a lot of these movies take a big hit when it comes to storytelling, because it's like we got to make something stick.
Right. I feel like that's why Marvel switched to what is it? They're not switching, but then like they're doing more like the TV shows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree, man. Like everyone is just glued to their phones nowadays. They're glued to a screen or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like too much of a good thing is a bad thing.
Yeah, that's like again we talk about She-Hulk, man. Like what stood out in She-Hulk? Daredevil's yellow suit. Like they need pretty much what I'm saying is like everything new that's coming out needs a Daredevil with a yellow suit type of effect. Like that's what I hate as a viewer and as someone who loves this content. It's just like I'm not looking for highlights, man.
Yeah.
Everything's just like highlights now.
Yeah. That's true. I never really thought about it that way. where everything has to come with something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lately, I'm pretty sure next year too, it's gonna be like that. Especially with like, I think COVID made it worse for everyone because everyone stayed
Yeah.
home.
Yeah.
So it like genuine writing, like real good writing, like
Mhm.
the boys type shit. Like
Yeah.
unless it really stands out, like the people who like pour their heart and souls into like independent books and stuff, they'll never see
Yeah.
the light of day because they're not getting that push like how Disney and Marvel would push.
Right. And like Disney and Marvel, DC, even DC, like their companies are so big, it literally like shrinks down everyone else.
Yeah, that's what I saw that like at a convention. I went to Fan Expo Dallas this year,
Mhm.
and actually this year was probably the most I spoke with like independent artists and getting
Mhm.
their points of views on like
Mhm.
characters. Like the one guy I met this year,
Mhm.
he was responsible for Spider-Man Noir.
Oh
Like
wow.
he was the guy that came up with it, but apparently I could be wrong. I
Mhm.
could be people take this with a grain of salt. Uh, Apparently the idea that he had was taken and he was never given credit for it.
Dang.
That's what I heard.
That's
Or at least that's
that's
what he
like
told me at his table. I'm just
yeah,
like, that's super fucked up.
yeah. That's like who is that? Jason, no, not Jason Segel. Like the guy who created Superman. He wasn't no, Batman. He wasn't credited um
Oh,
until
like
someone
Bill Finger or something, right?
Bill Finger. Yeah. He wasn't even credited for creating Batman. It was just Bob Kane. And then what is it? He just received recognition sometime early like 2000, something like that.
Yeah.
Late 1990s.
After like 70 plus years of getting no
Yeah,
credit and
dude,
all the
that's crazy.
movies, the TV shows,
Yeah, he
all the
missed.
accolades that he could have gotten or his family could have gotten,
Yeah,
never received it.
yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah, it's hard, man. Like paper trails like that when it comes to
Mhm.
like getting credit for your content or for what you create. It's honestly it's very sickening to at
Mhm.
least to me. Like because like imagine like you help make a character like this, and like I'm not saying that you like we all deserve credit, but or we're looking for credit, but
Mhm.
you deserve it, man. Like you're a
Yeah,
part of that project. Like
yeah, you worked hard on it. You helped design it. You should at least get like a small credit.
it just blows me away to see like how like again with like how corporate greed is when it
Mhm.
comes to like entertainment things like
Yeah.
this, like because again we were talking about the boys, man, like everything's like checked,
Yep.
like it's so controlled to where even if you do get in, right, you get your foot in the door where these big companies, they can still tell you what to do. Like, oh, we don't want you to do that, we want you to do this. Like eventually they'll take your work and
Right.
it won't be your work no more. So,
Nope.
but at the same time, though, like with all these indie artists, I feel bad because like I really wish I had the funds to help these people. But like I see indie people on like on Facebook, Instagram.
Mhm.
Dude, there are some amazing artists and
Yeah.
amazing writers out there who
Super creative. Yeah.
will sadly not see what they deserve. And I
Mhm.
think that stings, man. Like like I see so many like these manga artists, these manga writers or comic book writers, like they're all trying to like build this hub, and then like there's people who get greedy or people who get
Mhm.
salty and jealous. Like they try to tear each other down. Like, come on, man, you guys are all in the same level, man. Like build each
Right.
other up. Don't
Right.
don't don't compete with each other. Compete
Yeah.
with the big people.
Yeah.
But
Dude, the sad thing is, as long as this is a very Thanos answer, as long as humans are like alive, there will always be that, and
yeah,
that's the sad part.
yeah. That's why I would I would very much like a Thanos snap in today's world. Even if I don't make it, I'm like, please, like, we need a snap.
Yeah.
We need the snap. Thanos is
Perfectly
right.
balanced. Perfectly balanced as those things should be.
Yeah, Thanos is right.
Yeah.
But Cobb, man, we've been talking for about 2.5 hours. I know we could
Yeah.
go, we can go a lot more,
Dude, for
but
real.
no, man, I it's 11 over there. I don't want to keep you. I know you got work in the morning and stuff too.
Yeah.
So
No, you're
um,
good. Yeah.
but I want to say thank you for sticking out this long, man. I didn't think we'd be talking this long.
Yeah,
I
I know.
definitely would like to have you back so we can run it back again, dude. Like honestly,
Yeah, definitely.
I don't even think we touched up on what you do as a content creator. We
Oh
talked a little
yeah,
bit.
dude, we
We
just
talked a
kept
little bit about
talking.
it, and then we talked about like everything else aside from that. So the next episode or the next time you come on, we'll definitely talk more about
Yeah,
what you
definitely.
do.
It was definitely a pleasure being on here. Thanks for inviting me out.
Yeah, I'm glad you had fun, dude. I'm glad it wasn't as bad. The engagement, the flow of the conversation. There,
Yeah.
I've been really appreciating this style of like podcasting lately.
Mhm.
Like I know I do like reviews and all this shit, but like just to shoot shit with people and just to like talk about
Yeah.
just heart to heart shit. Like I've been liking like this style more
Yeah.
instead of like having a certain topic and like, oh, we're just gonna talk about
Right.
this.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, but like how can fans reach you if they want to see like your reviews or the short films you're in?
Yeah. So definitely. So first off, Ken's Geekside on YouTube. It's listed on here on the podcast. You could check out my videos there on the YouTube channel. There, I talk about all things comic book, anime, manga, tokusatsu stuff, anything that I like. I put it up on there, and so I try to make it as meme or funny as possible too, just to engage the audience a little bit more. So definitely go click like, subscribe, and share the video. And I'm also on Facebook, Kai Yang. On my Facebook there, I just do whatever. So you could contact me through there, or just if you want to, just be my friend.
Yeah, and I'll have that information on the show notes and description of the YouTube video. Today is the 17th, so I'm still technically on a hiatus, but I'll have this dropped by let me pull up my calendar. I want to give a precise date and time because there's other things I have set in motion too. So I'll have this out at least by the weekend of the 26th. So that's next
Oh,
Friday.
That's good. Yeah.
I'll have it out by that time, hopefully, edited and all that. And then I'm also doing a review episode of Singles Infernal, which is a Netflix live reality TV show.
Oh yeah, heard about that.
All the Koreans dating each other. And
Yeah.
shit. Like that'll be a whole new topic for me to talk. I've
Yeah.
never done I don't think I've ever talked a topic like that. It's always like anime or comic books,
Mhm.
but to do like a reality TV show review like that's a whole different
Yeah.
it's a whole different avenue for me. But that's probably gonna be coming up next after this episode.
Okay.
If not, then probably more anime reviews. But Ka, thank you again, man.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Dude,
Thank you.
yeah, it's been awesome to finally just talk to you, even
Yeah.
though it's through StreamYard. But
Yeah.
if I'm back in Detroit, man, or I am gonna be back in Detroit, but I don't think I'll be anywhere near Lansing. But if
Yeah.
I do see you in Detroit, dude, let's grab a drink or something, man. I'd love to.
Yeah,
meet
for
you in
sure. I'm
person.
down. Yeah.
But yeah, man. This is it, folks. Episode 132. Again, like, share, and subscribe to Kaz, to his YouTube channel, Ken's Geekside. Like, share, and subscribe to Spoiler Force Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, give it a thumbs up. Follow the Discord if you want to see behind the scenes stuff or share memes or watch UFC fights. That eventually sometimes I do that. Or if you want to support the podcast too, check out the Patreon. There's 2 tiers. Level 1 is $3, level 2 is $5. Depends on you, whatever one you want. But if you don't, it's fine. Any way you guys can support the podcast helps. And again, support Ka in his journey too as a content creator. So yeah, man. Again, this has been great. Thank you guys for watching and listening. Have a great day. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to give a review and rate Spoiler Force Podcast. If you want to get all Spoiler Force updates or even peeks at behind the scenes, you can join the Spoiler Force Discord community. And if you'd like to show support, give tips, recommendations, sponsorships, or any collaborations, you can email me at rickyvang92@gmail.com.